This podcast is brought to you by High Dive. Have you heard of High Dive? High Dive is one of the leading sources for streaming anime online. With exciting fall anime exclusive titles such as Bloomin' to You, Release the Spyce, Girl in the Twilight, and more, be sure not to miss out. And at only $5 per month, High Dive wants to help us enable your anime addiction. Be sure to use the promo code AAAPodcast at highdive.com to get 50% off your first month of service. This podcast is also brought to you by JList.com. JList.com's Christmas is starting. It's closing in on us, and JList is taking pre-orders for their Christmas snack boxes. Snacks that will arrive before Christmas so you and your family can have a special taste of Japanese Christmas. If you ever wanted to know what Japanese people eat on Christmas, this is a pretty good opportunity to find out. You can head over there and put your pre-orders in right now. And the snack box also contains a little gift, a cute little Christmas cat plushie toy that you can enjoy. So head over to JList.com and you can grab yourself a Christmas snack box. And now, time to start the podcast.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 445th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. My name is Kazuo, and I am joined here by my good buddy who is chugging a tasty beverage.
That's
Mitsuki.
right.
Mitsuki, what's up? How's it going?
Mitsuki's here. He's feeling good. I'm feeling real good.
What's in that cup, Mitsuki?
I have a raspberry and lime Polar brand sparkling water mixed with a 5-hour energy drink.
Oh, boy.
And I am jacked up. This podcast brought to you by 5-hour energy. For the crack addict in you.
I feel like that's not actually a sponsor of the podcast. Woo! Okay, well, we've also got Mandy joining us remotely from the Cincinnati bunker. Mandy, how's it going?
Hello, I'm doing great. I just finished my coffee, and I'm happy I was muted because I just had a spontaneous belch. But I'm here. Hi.
You should have unmuted yourself for that.
Are you amped up on your 5-hour energy? Are you amped up on coffee, Mandy?
I'm getting there.
Good.
It's getting into my bloodstream.
Good.
Mandy's always amped up.
We gotta cross that we gotta cross the blood-brain barrier. Get that shit right into your cerebellum. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, of course, you should be amped up as well because we got a great episode for you guys today. But before we get into all of that, of course, you can find us on our website, AAAPodcast.com. Go to AAAPodcast.com/join to create an account if you haven't already. Once you do that, you can get access to all of our extra episodes that we put out, our hentai episodes, hobby addicts, after parties, just a bunch of extra goodness for your listening pleasure.
And I want to make a note real quick.
Have at it.
The website has been a real shit show lately.
It sure has.
And mostly that is because I am way the hell over my head trying to manage a website because guess what? I don't know shit about websites, and our website actually does some complicated things, and I have no idea how to manage any of it.
Yeah, science and stuff.
All kinds of stuff going on. I don't know how to do it. So it is getting better. So the login functionality was a little messed up for the last 2 weeks or so, and that is fixed now. So you should be able to log into the website very easily using your account, access all of your content. So please go try that out. We've also re-optimized for mobile, and that is about 90% done.
Nice.
And after that, there's a couple more little things we're going to have done, but please don't give up on the website. The website has been bad, but we have spent quite a lot of money getting it to not be bad lately. So we're the third-party company that's been coming in and fixing things. So go check it out, and hopefully you'll be able to have a much better experience than before. And I apologize. I am definitely way over my head, 10 feet over my head. So.
Wait, you are over your own head?
Yeah, I don't know how to manage the website.
How do you get over your own head?
It's crazy.
I'm so confused right now.
It's like when you do lots of drugs.
Are you having an out-of-body experience?
Yeah, and you float up, and so it's like Rocco told me once.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One time Rocco told me, he said one time I smoked so much weed that I literally left my own body and floated up into the upper corner of the room, and I was looking at myself down on my own body from the upper corner of the room, and I was like, that is weird, but okay.
All right. Well,
that's some fear and loathing shit.
And he never came down.
He never did.
Of course, if you don't want to head over to the website, which you totally should, you can also find us on Facebook.
That's right.
Facebook.com/groups/AAAPodcast. Go there to hang out with literally thousands of other anime fans. And you can access our Discord from the website, the main page. To go to the AAPodcast.com. At the very top, click on the Discord button. That will take you to our Discord server where you can chat with all your other fellow anime addicts and watch anime together and play video games and all that good stuff.
Manga Club.
Join the Manga Club.
Yeah.
For all you people that actually know how to read, which I do not, unfortunately. Maybe one day.
Oh.
Who knows?
We'll teach you.
We do have a couple other announcements here.
Anime NYC?
Yes, Anime NYC, which is an anime convention that takes place in NYC.
Oh, no shit.
It's happening next month, November, with the weekend of like the 14th or something?
That is the weekend of the 16th of November, I believe.
Okay, 16th. All right, good, close enough.
We're going to be doing a panel there. I think Mandy will be the star of the show on the panel, but we're all going to be involved as well on Review Starlight and the influences of Ikuni, I believe.
I will be walking around the show floor with boxed wine in my backpack.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Are you trying to say they need to get drunk in order to find me entertaining?
I will have a bottle of whiskey and shot glasses for anybody who can find me.
Either that or
Do shots together. I'm gonna immediately get kicked out.
He's gonna be
amazing panel.
He's gonna be serving alcohol on a silver tray, wearing a JoJo thong speedo.
Yes, and a bow tie.
And zippers on his nipples.
That's right. So yes, we will be at Anime NYC. Come hang out with us. We will also be having an event specifically for you to come hang out with us outside of the convention. We're gonna be going to do some karaoke, guys.
Oh yeah,
that's right. We're gonna all get together in a room, get drunk, and sing Chala He Chala.
And I will be shirtless.
That is true.
And I will be touching my nipples.
Well, okay.
Also, I should make a note that we have a new segment coming up. There is a new segment called Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, which is a new segment that Enzo wanted to do because we're trying to like inject more positivity into the podcast, and this is a really good way to do that. So like that's a good mission for us for the next year, is to just try to be more positive in general about everything.
Well,
anime and people and everything in life.
I don't agree to this.
and so this segment is basically a way that we would like to celebrate with you significant achievements that you, the listeners, have had in your lives. So whether it's things like maybe you graduated from high school, maybe you graduated from college, med school.
Got out of prison.
Maybe you beat an illness. Maybe you got married. Whatever it is.
Beat a gun charge.
We would like to. Maybe you maybe you got off easy on a crime you committed.
Maybe the child is not yours, and so you don't have to pay child support anymore.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you want to celebrate, let us know.
Let us know. So on the website, the mailbag button on the top of the website is now called Mailbags and More. Ooh. And inside of there, you can submit mailbags, you can submit topic suggestions for the podcast, and also you can submit to Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, which is the third category. So please go do that if you would like us to celebrate with you. And we have fun drops and stuff made for that segment. So that's going to be starting pretty soon, maybe next week. So
I'm excited. I think it's cool that we get to know more about our community and our listeners.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
So we've already had a couple submissions on there. I've seen them. So go.
We have some really talented people, too, in our community.
We have people from literally all walks of life, like incredible.
Yeah, and I guess we should say it's not just stuff you want to celebrate, but things you do. So like if you are an artist of some sort and you want to share that with us, feel free, and we will discuss it on the show.
We have lawyers, doctors. We got people that are driving trains and like in subways, which I think is a super interesting job. We just have people doing all sorts of cool stuff. So we want to celebrate your lives with you. So go to the website, go to that mailbag and more button on the top, and submit your requests. You don't even have to put your real name in there. It could be a fake name, and we will celebrate with you.
Submit to us.
That's right.
All right. Well, on today's episode, we've got a action-packed,
always
chock full of stuff episode. Our main topic was
I just felt like you said action-packed.
Oh, all right. The main topic was suggested by a listener and a frequent writer-inner, IcyRose. He suggested that we do an anime full course meal. So we're going to be going over what anime would relate to what food items in our specific meal.
Yeah,
Is that how that works? All right.
IcyRose has been kicking butt on our Discord.
he's been slaying.
I feel like he is the best. He's the best host of the podcast.
He's more popular than any of us. I know that. That's for sure.
So we're gonna be going over that later on in the show, and we will also be doing some impressions. Today we're gonna be doing impressions. Oh boy. What, you just cut it off mid-sentence?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So yeah, we're doing some impressions. We started those, I guess, last week or something. So we're gonna continue with that. The Fall of Anime 2018 impressions, and so we'll be going over Thunderbolt Fantasy Season 2, Run with the Wind, Release the Spyce, Goblin Slayer, and Ulysses, Jeanne d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight. So we'll be going over that later on in the episode. But before we get to all that, it's time for the big news of the week.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Well, Cosmo,
Yes.
it has happened.
Oh no! What?
Well,
Who did it? It wasn't me.
I'm worried. I'm curious about what your thoughts are on this first first item.
Me too.
Okay. So you want me to read this?
Sure.
Okay.
This
so
is basically meant for you.
Oh wow. Okay. So there's a Hollywood film adaptation that was announced of a little show you may have heard of called My Hero Academia.
That's right.
Apparently, Legendary Entertainment announced a live-action film. Alex Garcia from Godzilla and Jay Ashtonfelter from Pacific Rim Uprising, I guess, are associate producers on this. Is that right?
They're going to be supervising.
Ah, okay.
Whatever
All
the
right.
hell that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Along with, wait, hold on. Yes. The manga editor Ryosuke Yoritomi on behalf of Shueisha. So they do
that's
have
good.
him kind of coming in and working in it on as well. Toho will handle the film's distribution in Japan. Just a little more information here on My Hero Academia, as if you don't know about it already. But it began serialization. Thank you.
Man, you really can't read.
I told you I
were
can't read.
lying.
What is in that
Guys,
Rockstar?
I'm having an off day. You know, I just want to let you know.
Do you have
I'm just kidding.
do you have whiskey in that?
I have baby brain. You know, guys,
baby
I'm pregnant
Oh,
and
no.
I do baby pose and hot yoga.
oh yeah,
Actually,
happy baby.
Happy baby. Yeah.
Happy baby. Yeah, that's a good one. Never mind. So it began in July of 2014, and they published their 20th volume this September. So it's been going for a little while. It's manga currently has a cumulative 17 million copies of its compiled volumes in circulation.
It's not really surprising why they want to make a movie.
Well, I mean, it's insanely popular.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, it's certainly up there with some of the most popular shonen mangas and anime, especially when you consider it's only been out for 4 years.
It's definitely at least 4 times as popular as Full Metal Panic.
At least, according to our bet.
That's right.
So let's see here. Studio Bones produced a 13-episode first anime season in spring 2016. The second season came out in 2017, and of course the third spring 2018. So, yeah, obviously the show insanely popular and successful, and so they're gonna try.
How the hell? How are they gonna do it though? Look, I haven't watched My Hero Academia, but I've seen lots of clips from it.
Yeah,
and I know there's lots of superpowers and special effects and fighting.
Yeah. I mean, again,
how does one make this into a Hollywood movie?
That's a good question. I am looking up Legendary Entertainment to see what other movies they've worked on.
Well, they've done a lot of the adaptations of anime stuff.
So that could be a concern.
I mean, I guess.
All right. No, they've done well. No, they've done a bunch of really good stuff.
I don't think not necessarily everything they've done has been bad, but I just don't. I certainly think it can be done well. I'm not quite sure what is the best way to represent all of these different abilities, and because aren't some of them pretty silly?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of abilities. There's like a frog girl, an invisible girl. There's a dude that freaking shoots explosives out of his hands. There's all kinds of weird abilities. But I mean, a lot of the movies that this company, Legendary Entertainment, has worked on have been incredibly successful
CG heavy.
and CG heavy. Yeah, for sure. So like, just looking at their more recent films, they've done Pacific Rim Uprising, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. There's just a ton of stuff. The Warcraft movie, which wasn't very good, but I guess still made a lot of money. So, I mean, I think they can certainly do it. It's just a matter of, I would be more interested to see who's going to be writing the film, who's going to be directing it, what actors they get in there. Like, that's going to, I feel like, really tell you whether it's going to end up being quality or not.
By the way, you're never getting it.
editor in on it, so
Yeah, that's a
hope
good
it's
sign.
more faithful too.
Although with the Death Note movie, weren't they involved in that as well?
I'm not sure.
As far
think
like,
so.
or was that?
That was Netflix.
Yeah. I'm saying like, wasn't the creator involved in that somehow? Maybe not.
No,
I don't remember.
think he just. I think if I remember correctly, he just said that he liked it,
Yeah.
but I don't think he had anything to do with the creation. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I
though.
think he just weighed in on it and was like, "Oh yeah, it looks good."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, look, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and hopefully it's somewhere in between. I don't
By
know.
the way, you're never getting another Pacific Rim movie.
No.
No, because the second one netted half the money the first one did in the
Ooh.
U.S. Let me see. How did it?
But internationally, it was probably massive. I would imagine.
So the first movie netted $411 million, and the second one netted $290 million, but on a $150 million budget. So that thing probably didn't even break even.
That's worldwide.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
So
rough.
That thing didn't even break even.
Yeah. Oh well.
I didn't see. That's. I was wondering about that because like Pacific. I felt like Pacific Rim Uprising came and went, and I didn't even hear about it at all.
Yeah, I remember when it was coming out, but I actually never watched it. I saw the original, and it was a lot of fun.
It was.
But no, I never got around to seeing the sequel.
There were some cool scenes in the first one.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, let's move along.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double.
Shut up! You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here.
It's that time of year again.
That time of year.
That's right.
The time.
When they start nominating, when they start getting the list of anime that can be nominated for Oscars.
Oh. Okay.
I feel like this is a necessary thing to talk about, but I'm always disappointed by the outcome because the anime movies never seem to win. But there have been 8 anime films that have been submitted for Oscar nomination.
Okay.
And 2 of them have very well-known and well-loved directors involved.
One of them I love.
Yes, I noted. I put him in red just for
Thank
you,
you.
Mandy.
Oh my gosh.
So the first one is Naoko Yamada and Kyoto Animation's Bluebird.
I haven't seen that.
Liz and the Bluebird.
Oh, Liz and the Bluebird. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nobuyuki Takeuchi and Ayuki Simbo's and Shaft's work Fireworks. Mandy, would you like to do the one that you love?
Oh yeah, Misaki Yuasa has Lou Over the Wall and Night is Short Walk on Girl in there. And I haven't seen Lou Over the Wall, but I love Night is Short Walk on Girl. That was a really good movie.
So he's been nominated. Isamu Imakake and HS Pictures, The Laws of the Universe Part 1, Studio 4C's MFKZ, which I don't know what that is exactly, but it must be good. Mari Okada and PA Works' Makuya When the Promised Flower Blooms. I've heard of that, but I haven't seen like any of these. But then again, I'm not really watching.
Well,
anime
I mean,
movies.
these movies also just came out probably in theaters, and so we probably haven't had a lot of access to them at this point.
True. And then the other big director was Mamoru Hosoda's.
I see you highlighted that one as well. Very good.
And Studio Chizu's Mirai,
Yes,
which was
Mirai of the Future.
Yeah, so there are some pretty big titles in here. And then I also noted that one Pixar film was nominated, which was The Incredibles 2, which I assume will win.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know everybody really loved that movie. And, I mean, it was a movie that, people have been wanting for years since the original came out, which was a long time ago, apparently. So, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really seen any of these films, so I can't really say one way or the other, but it's cool to see there's so many that are being nominated.
Yeah, I'm always frustrated by the Oscar process because some of these anime movies are very like artistic, like thought provoking, and I don't really feel the same way about a lot of the Pixar movies. Like,
Yeah.
they're fun kids movies for the family feel. I'm sure The Incredibles 2 is a beautiful movie, but I doubt it has like the thought provoking aspect to it. That's something from that Masaki Yuasa would put into his movies.
Right.
Like The Incredibles 2 is going to be an action movie meant for kids.
Yeah.
Masaki Yuasa is gonna make a movie that is, in his view, art, right? And so, like, to me, there's no comparison between those. But I feel like Pixar will win anyway because
It's a popularity
they
contest.
have all the clout. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest. And another thing is, like, a lot of times, the way that the Oscars are run, as far as, like, voting on, a lot of times people are voting on things that they haven't even seen. And so that's why a lot of times, like, major motion pictures in the States during the Oscar season, they'll have, like, a big push of, like, advertising for their film. So, like, if you are in Hollywood, like, you'll see billboards and stuff for particular films that have that are no longer in theaters, but they're just advertising so that they're in like the public consciousness, so that when people vote, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that movie, and they'll vote for it.
Oh, it's like politicians.
Yeah.
They put like stuff in people's yards and shit.
Yeah. And that's actually, they actually do stuff like that, which is kind of crazy, but so it's really just a popularity contest, and the majority of people aren't going to have seen these movies.
Night of Short Walk on Girl is very closely related to the Tatami Galaxy, so it also has those very fast subtitles, and we hate subtitles here, especially when they go that quickly.
Oh my gosh.
So I can't see that one winning, but I wish it would.
I think Mirai probably has a good shot because Hosoda's movies are very grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think grandioseness is what won Miyazaki for Spirited Away.
I believe you mean grandiosity.
Grandiosity.
I think. I don't know. Is that the word?
I don't know. But like Spirited Away is very eye-popping, very exciting, has a very big feel to it. And Hosoda's movies, all the ones that I've seen, have felt like that.
Yeah.
So Mirai, his style is a very appealing to the Western audience. So my personal take would be if any of these movies have a really strong shot at winning, it would be one of his. So we'll see. I mean, I'll root for anything that's an anime movie. I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, especially when you're going up against like The Incredibles. It's like, I'm sure The Incredibles is a great movie, but it's like kind of like what you were saying before. It's just an action movie,
Yeah.
It's not artistic expression or anything.
It's a sequel.
Yeah.
Action movie. Whatever. I don't want to talk shit on Pixar. They do great work, but
yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Let us move on.
Mm-hmm.
Howdy, partner. I seen you riding in on that dusty trail. Welcome to the good, the bad, and the moe.
All right, guys, we got some good stuff here.
And some bad stuff and some moe stuff?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Some really sad things.
Yeah. Crunchyroll for the good. Crunchyroll has surpassed 2 million subscribers, paid subscribers. So they had previously announced that they had reached 1 million subscribers last year in February. So they're growing very quickly. Crunchyroll's website lists that it has more than 40 million registered users. And they also have confirmed that they are collaborating with Adult Swim's Toonami for the distribution of Mob Psycho 100. So that's kind of cool. Mostly I put this on here because I think that the success that Crunchyroll's having sort of shows the popularity of anime in general, and also shows the health and the viability of the online streaming model, which is good for every company that's involved in online streaming.
Yeah.
So
I did math in my head just now.
Did you?
That's $144 million a year on subscriptions.
Nice job.
I did math, guys. Yay! Very simple math, but I did it.
So anime's healthy, it's growing very fast, and it seems to be coming into the public eye a lot more, which is really exciting. So that's the good. For the bad, we've had a couple voice actor deaths. Koji Sujitani has passed away. He had a cerebral infarction, which I'm not a doctor. I'm not sure what that means exactly. He was only 53 years old. Some of the voices that this man worked on that were very well known were he did Miroku from Inuyasha.
Oh, man.
Itsuki from Yu Yu Hakusho. He was involved in Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War on the Pocket as Bernard Wiseman. He was Tyler in Irresponsible Captain Tyler, and tons of other stuff as well. So we're really very sad to see him go. Also, voice actor Nobuo Tanaka has passed away.
This one kills me.
Yeah, he passed away of cancer at 83. Some of his voices were Shintaro Chiaki from Detective Conan and Magic Kaito, Soeki Seno from Hyogemono, the one that's going to kill Mandy, Dio Brando from the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, so sad.
And he was the narrator from Lupin for Lupin the Third from the 1970 series. So he had lots of awards and stuff as well. So we're really sad to see him go also. So bad.
83 though, that's a good run.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the other guy passed away at only 53, which is real sad. So for the moe, a Space Brothers onsen bath is opening for a limited time in Tokyo.
What?
Yes.
Space Brothers?
Yeah.
Space Brothers isn't even that popular.
What?
It's really not that popular. I mean, it's good.
Crazy? Well, they've had like 4 Hollywood, a ton of Hollywood movies. Dude,
Really?
Space Brothers is very popular.
Wait, what? Hollywood movies?
Whatever, Japanese movies. It's very popular. Most people that I spoke to in Japan know what Space Brothers is. Kosugiyo Bath, that's located in Tokyo's Suginami Ward, has, for 3 days only, they will be having and actually this is the final day of the onsen is today, so this is more of a informational thing than it is, go do it. They are having a Space Brothers bath that will have 4 bathing rooms themed after Space Brothers. The first one, the Galaxy Spyce Bath, will let people sit in traditional Chinese medicinal baths. The Russian Plunge Bath is a bath that is some kind of cold water.
The old Russian plunge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. he's like, what? The Muta Bath, which is a milk bath, which includes rubber duck friends to keep the bathers company.
Aww.
Okay, that's awesome.
And this is cool, the Deep Ocean Water Bath, which will let visitors feel like they're in NEMO training. NEMO stands for NASA's Extreme Environmental Mission Operations, which is a mission where astronauts and engineers undertake NASA's undersea research station Aquarius. So from the anime, there was a scene where they were all like underwater doing stuff underwater. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they're going to simulate you basically being scuba diving, but
I don't know.
They're going to figure something out. So that was in the Kosugiyu Onsen in Tokyo Suginami Ward. It did end today, but it's just kind of cool that they did it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because like Space Brothers came out, what, 4 years ago?
I think it was longer than that.
Isn't the manga still going though? Isn't it?
Well, the anime ended very abruptly.
Yeah, that didn't even really conclude.
Yeah, it ended on episode 99, which is so odd.
Yeah.
So that's
cool though.
That's it for the good, the bad, and the moe.
All right. Well, on that note, we're moving quick. We're about to go through a news break here. Before we do that, we have our trivia,
which I did not update. So there is no trivia.
Right. Well, there is no website trivia. Normally there is. You go to the website, you scroll down, see the trivia there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that this week. However, we do still have our in-show weekly trivia question, which we'll answer after the news break. It's a Name That Anime, so I'll give you a little synopsis here, and then you guess what the anime is. So, 2 scientists are attempting to distribute the cure for a demon virus that is affecting people all over Japan. However, things have become complicated. One of them has been infected. So begins his battle with himself as he attempts to not only control his emerging demon side, but also to save the lives of others by wielding its great strength. What is that anime? Stick around and we'll tell you right after the break.
What's up, all you crazy anime fans? Mitsuki's here as always, and it's time for your anime news. Starting us off, we have a little bit of shiesty activity going on regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! And counterfeit Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. It looks like a 20-year-old woman in Kyoto thought she really had found something quite rare when a Lorelei Symphonic Arsenal Yu-Gi-Oh! Card appeared on an auction website. There were only 6 of these cards given out to winners at the 2008 Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship tournament in Germany. The card was $3,600, which she purchased, but when she bought it, it didn't look like the real thing. It looked like a clear counterfeit. Things weren't right on it. The text was off, etc. And so she notified authorities, who found the seller, a man, 29-year-old Shunki Iwasaki from Kyoto, who was arrested on the spot and is now facing charges for fraud and violation of trademark laws. So for those of you that are big collectors of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, look out, because there are definitely counterfeits floating around out there. Now for the rest of this news break, we're going to have a ton of new anime announcements. It looks like the official website for the Ame-iro Koko TV anime series has announced that Ame-iro Koko Side G is getting a TV adaptation in the winter of 2019. The story of Ame-iro Koko Side G starts with Yoko Amami, who is the daughter of Koji Amami, who is becoming an acting manager at Rainy Color. So for those of you that are fans of Ame-iro Koko, looks like there's another one coming out pretty soon, and you won't have to wait very long at all for it. Next up, we have 2 anime announcements from the Fantasia Bunko Daikansha 2018 stage event that happened recently in Japan. It looks like the light novel Assassin's Pride is also getting a TV adaptation. And the synopsis is that in a world where only the aristocrats have the power to fight the monster Mana, a youth named Kufa is dispatched as a tutor to find Maraida's talent, a nuisance girl born in the Duke's family. If she is not talented, assassinate her. That is the dark side of the task. So this is coming out sometime. It looks like it's The Assassin's Pride is written by Kei Amagi and is illustrated by Nino Motomi Nino, who has been serialized since January of 2016. So if you're a big fan of this property, it looks like there's going to be some of it coming out later on next year. Also, it looks like at that same event, the light novel Sujou Kogeki ga Zentai Kogeki de Nikai Kogeki no Okasai wa Tsuki desu ka? Or Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Attacks, which is another light novel getting a TV adaptation into anime. The synopsis being a new kind of mom-corn role-playing adventure. What would you do if you got transported into a video game with your mom? That's the dilemma facing high schooler Masato Osuki, who has been unwittingly thrown into an RPG world with his doting mother close behind him as part of a secret government scheme. As an avid gamer, Masato is eager to show off his skills, but that's hard to do when your mom is insanely overpowered, dual-wielding, multi-target specialist. So this is definitely sounds like a funny isekai show, and if you're a fan of this, it's going to be coming out also next year. This is Mitsugi, and this was your Anime News Break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
We know the truth.
It's written all over your face.
You're addicted to anime.
But it's more than that, isn't it?
Are you also addicted to the AAAPodcast?
Get all the content. Early episodes, after parties, hobby addicts, hentai episodes, show notes, ringtones, and more by joining our $7 support tier.
Go to AAAPodcast.com/join and select the $7 tier to get access to everything.
This means you'll get an extra 8 episodes of podcast goodness delivered right to your ears every month. That's less than $1 per episode.
And that's on top of all the other bonuses like ringtones and show notes.
So head to AAAPodcast.com/join and select the $7 tier. Set up your membership and you're good to go. Man, Chiaki, I'm so nostalgic for Japan. All I want is some Japanese candy or a canned coffee like the ones I used to have on my way to teach at my schools in Japan.
So why don't you go out to a con or something and buy some?
The prices at cons are crazy expensive and nowhere else carries this stuff.
Mitsugi, JList.com, duh.
Do they sell Japanese snacks?
Yeah, they just started a new box service where you can get an awesome box of Japanese snacks without having to sign up for a subscription even.
Oh, no subscription? Is their stuff good though?
As good as everything else is on JList.com, it's awesome. I know you, Mitsugi, you'll love it. They have everything from anime-themed snacks to melon bread and even seasonal boxes for Halloween and other holidays.
That's great. Is it expensive though? You know, cho takai.
No, it's only $2 per item on average. And the deluxe box comes with a free drink item and a $5 J-List coupon.
Rock on! It figures JList.com would come through for me. I can't wait for my ramune flavored candies.
So go to jlist.com/box or the non-adult mirror site jbox.com/box to get yours.
Nom noms.
Nom.
You know me? Of course!
And we are back to the 445th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Back again from our news break.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Oh, God.
Mitz is back. What?
Oh.
Well, all right, sure. So before we went on our news break, we asked you an in-show weekly trivia question. And, Mitz, do you want to read that for us?
I would love to.
Thank you.
2 scientists are attempting to distribute the cure for a demon virus that is affecting people all over Japan. However, things have become complicated when one of them has become infected, so begins his battle with himself as he attempts to not only control his emerging demon side, but also to save the lives of others wielding his great strength. And that anime is...
Biohunter.
Biohunter.
Interesting. I've never seen that anime.
It's a little older.
It is, yeah. I think it's from like the 90s, right? Early 90s?
I would say, without knowing exactly, I'd say late 80s, early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely have heard of it, but I've just never had a chance to watch it.
Well, we all know this next guy that Mandy is going to be presenting to us, don't we, Mandy?
So what was that?
This next guy that Mandy's going to be presenting to us, we all know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We do.
Is it time for Mandy's Manga Minute?
Yeah, horror edition.
Horror edition?
Horror.
Oh, horror. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, what?
Yeah, Mitsuki did that to me like a couple weeks ago.
Did he? Oh.
Yeah. Alrighty, so Mandy's Manga Minute is where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and hopefully help you find something new to read. And so for the month of October, I've been doing horror every month, or every week. And this one is the last edition of Mandy's Horror Month. And I decided to pick a real good one. And it's Junji Ito's Frankenstein.
Oh, shit.
So Junji Ito meets Mary Shelley, the master of horror manga, bends all his skin into bringing the anguish and solitary monster and the fouler beast who created him to life with the brilliantly detailed chiaroscuro that he is known for. Frankenstein is a horror manga, of course, by the master of horror manga himself, Junji Ito. His take on the classic tale of Frankenstein was originally released in 1999 in Japan, but released in English for the first time here recently. You can purchase the omnibus. It's a really nice hardback book. I've got it right here. It was like $20. And the book also includes a few other short stories in the back that were not previously printed in English. Some of them were actually in the Junji Ito collection anime. Junji Ito's style, art style, lends itself very well to the tale of Frankenstein. The version of Monster in this is the creepiest that I have ever seen. Wow. He's downright terrifying and far more horrifying than the original portrayal by Boris Karloff. Ito does such a fantastic job of capturing the horror and recreating a body from scratch in his usual dark circles that he does around the eyeballs of his characters. Does a really good job of portraying Frankenstein's mental exhaustion throughout the story. The art is very grimy and grotesque, but if you're a fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or just a horror fan in general, I'd say give it a shot. Also, if you like Junji Ito's Cat Diary, this book also has a short story on the back of it about one of his dogs. It's very similar to that. He still does an excellent job of blending his mundane life with his horror art style, incorporating some humor into the mix. So, yeah, give it a shot.
I'm looking at photos from this, and it's very grotesque.
That monster is terrifying.
Just as I would expect from Junji Ito. He's very good at body horror.
Yes, very good.
Body horror is definitely his thing, and body horror really creeps me out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think my favorite body horror was Land of the Lustrous. I love it every time. Like, it was actually really pretty when they broke apart, the gem girls.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Oh, those gem girls. I don't know.
Well, actually, no, they weren't girls, guys.
They were gems.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
There's gem people.
Gem people.
I don't know. I still like the spiral of the girl with her head's part of her head is a spiral and it's just like gone.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? I'm looking at it right, looking at it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really like that stuff.
Yeah,
whatever.
I know.
Yeah,
but it's very gross. Yeah, Junji Ito is good, and his books are such a good value for what you get. It's like ridiculous. The fact that I got a hardback 500-page thing of Uzumaki for like $19 is mind blowing. Like he could have charged $45 or $50.
Naruto Uzumaki?
Yeah, pretty much.
All of the books that I have so far, except for Cat Diary, are really nice hardback books, and they're all about around $20.
Very cool.
All right, so we got a main topic here.
We do.
Thank you, Mandy. I'm so sad it's gone. The horror month.
Oh.
Yeah, now we're back to normal next week, but if something
is November going to be all about like Thanksgiving stuff? I don't know.
Or maybe Christmas stuff coming up?
Oh gosh. I don't know if there's a lot of Christmas anime.
Is there? I don't think there's a lot of it.
There's Love Hina at Christmas.
Yeah, there's Tokyo Godfather.
There's My Santa.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that a hentai?
No, it's like a love. It's like a romancy thing, and the kid's name is Santa. I don't know.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, our main topic for today, as we mentioned at the top of the show, was suggested by IcyRose, which is our full course anime meal.
We need a drop for IcyRose. Like whenever his name comes up, we play like a like. Like,
is that a
thing?
Well,
he's like Lord IcyRose on the floor. Like,
I was like,
play some like very regal music.
For a second, I thought you were going with like Sandstorm or something at the beginning there.
Well,
we just play Sandstorm every time IcyRose comes up.
Every time.
If somebody would like to create a very nice drop for IcyRose for me and give it to me, as long as it sounds nice and is good, maybe we'll just play a drop every time IcyRose's name is mentioned.
What are the odds of IcyRose just making his own drop? I feel like something he would do.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So this main topic here.
Yes, Ice Baby. Sorry.
Ice Baby. Wow. Oh boy.
Do it.
Thrusting. I'm hip thrusting.
Okay, please stop pelvic thrusting against the table.
Okay.
Thank you. So the description for this one is an anime as a full course meal. I guess IcyRose wrote this in. He says, I like using food as an analogy in anime. So if you were to serve up a full course meal of anime, what shows/movies would be the theme, appetizer, starter, main course, dessert, all that other stuff? So building our own anime meal, what anime would correlate to the various food items and why?
Okay.
Now, in true Cosmo fashion, I have not looked at this until just now. So I am going to be going off the top of my head.
You have a couple of minutes.
So I will let Mandy start.
Mandy and I both put quite a lot, so it'll probably take us a while to get through ours.
Oh, I missed another bullet point that he wrote in here. He said, would you theme your meal as a fine dining experience, or would you prefer it to be more like a bar and grill, family restaurant, all-you-can-eat buffet, et cetera, et cetera? If you want to offer all long-running shonen you can consume, so like so basically run with it, do whatever you want. What kind of meal would you create?
Would you like to go first, Mandy?
Sure, I can go. Okay. You're gonna have to bear with me because it's funny because I love anime and shows that do food analogies, and I love watching shows about people enjoying food. But I actually have an extremely dull sense of smell and taste, so bear with me. I'm not really great at this. But mine's just a shabu shabu. I made a big hot pot.
I love shabu shabu.
And my first one, I'll start with the broth. And my kombu broth is barakamon. And I put in that kombu broth is like what everything is cooked in a hot pot. It's like really warm and gives everything else its flavor. And barakamon is just this warm anime. And Naru is going to provide everyone else in this anime dish with sweet humor. And shows Barakuman's about a man who has a passion for calligraphy and feels like he's not good enough. I think that complements my meat very well, which I have to get to in a minute. I probably should start at the top. But Honda also moves to the countryside, is welcomed by some very friendly neighbors who all teach him about simple living. And the broth is just ready to make you feel all cozy inside. So then I moved on to my meat, which was Chihaya Furu.
Yes.
And it's the main course.
Yes, it is.
It's the thing that everyone's looking forward to. I just binged all of Chihaya Furu season 1 last week. So it was just
very good.
At the front of my mind. I loved it a lot.
But what meat could Chihaya Furu be?
I think I put it on here because it was an extremely easy binge for me. And you mean like what kind of meat? I put in like thin sliced meat, like the kind of that thinly sliced beef that you get in shabu shabus. Because when you dip that into boiling water, it like melts the extra fat, making it lighter and healthier. And so I put in Chihaya Furu is both very light and good for you because the character's all bright and easy to love.
No.
Even the opponent.
Is it going to be like perfectly marbled meat, like the expensive shit?
Sure. Yes.
They spend so much damn money in Japan to get fatty meat. It's ridiculous.
Do. I have seen how much fat they have on that meat.
It's crazy. They love that shit.
So then I had back to the kombu broth. I thought it complemented Chihaya very well because they're both about like people have a desire in a traditional Japanese art. But then my veggies are Rakugo Shinju. Because you add in the vegetables for the health benefits, and that's Rakugo for me. The anime is just so healthy for me. It not only taught me about a very traditional Japanese art, but Rakugo, but also all the characters provided me with much needed supplements. Like I put down like passion, brotherhood, family, sacrifice, and love. And some parts of it were warm, and some parts were very sad. But Rakugo Shinjo was very good for the heart and soul for me.
What would be a sad vegetable?
Oh, God, all of them.
No, get out of here with that.
I love veggies.
Ugh.
Come on, Mandy. What's a sad vegetable for you?
Sad veggies.
Onions, because they make you cry.
You're right.
But they're so
That's a good-
delicious.
They are, but they do make you cry when you cut into them. So it'd be like, see, I just put down veggies because I want to put down every single vegetable that you put in a hot pot. I kind of just grouped them all into one.
Well, there's going to be a shitload of mushrooms.
Yeah, I have mushrooms on here actually as the right thing.
They have so many bizarre, weird mushrooms in Japan, and they're all delicious. All of them.
Are they called enoki ones, and then shiitake mushrooms?
Oh,
Those are the ones I always get from my hot pots.
They got the ones where they come in like a bunch, and there's like they have really long stems and the tiny little caps.
Yeah, I think they're called enokis. I think
those are really good.
No.
And they're kind of
that's what they're called.
They're kind of crunchy when you eat them. Yeah, they're really good. Ugh,
But they like get stuck in your teeth.
They do. Yeah.
That's actually, I don't have a lot of fears, but one of my fears is getting food stuck in my teeth and not knowing about it, and then it rotting my teeth out.
Well, you just floss every night.
Well, yeah.
Well, you just
Problem
brush
solved.
your teeth.
Wait, what?
You just brush your teeth.
Is this? Did
Oh
you
my
not know
God!
about
I
this?
can just brush my teeth.
Yeah, dude. Do you know what a toothbrush is?
I've never seen one before. I've heard of them.
Have you ever flossed?
Yeah, of course. Have you seen the gaps in between my teeth? I don't need to floss.
Everyone needs to floss.
I floss with a rope.
Like
I floss with like one of those ropes that they tie ships up with.
like you have like a pulley system in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Dang, you got some big ass teeth.
I got some gaps.
Yeah, actually, I put mushrooms as their own on here. I put my mushrooms are the eccentric family because you have to bear with me here. I put down mushrooms like live in the dark, but I think like I looked it up. Shiitake mushrooms actually do well in the sun, but bear with me here. The eccentric family also lives in the dark because it's not as popular as other shows about yokai, but doesn't mean it's bland. Shiitake mushrooms have like a very meaty texture to them, more so than like other mushrooms. And they're packed with lots of flavor. So that's the eccentric family. It's meatier than some other underappreciated shows. And the show follows a family of tanuki trying to live in a society, and they're hunted by the Friday fellows who eat tanuki hot pots. It's so sad.
No.
It has a lot of laughs and tears, but some great family bonding. I also put down the ponzu sauce, like the side sauce, as Hozuki no Reitetsu. Because ponzu is like a citrus-based sauce. It's like tart and dark. That's Hozuki. It's very off-putting to some people, and it's a lot of dark humor. But I think taking it to Hozuki every now and then can provide you some knowledge on that, like those ancient stories of yokai demons and the gods inside of them.
He is kind of tart, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's not gonna take your shit.
No.
He's gonna hit you in the head with a mallet.
So yeah, then I had two more on here. The rice, which is March comes in like a lion for me. The rice is the side dish to your hot pot, and you eat like your meat and veggies on top of it, and it soaks up the juices. And I think that works with March comes in like a lion. It's a good compliment to Chihaya Furu, Barakamon, Rakugo Shinjo, because they're all shows about somebody having a passion for like traditional Japanese games and arts, and that's shogi in this one. And the show soaks up like Chiharafu's colorful atmosphere, Rakugo Shinju's character growth, and Barakamon's warm fuzzy moments. And I think it's a good blend of all of them together.
I like how you have a very distinct taste, like in the anime that you enjoy. It's very interesting.
I do.
Me. Yeah.
I love all of these shows a lot.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like you're.
one is,
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I feel like you're way more cultured than I am.
Oh.
You're like I like all of these shows, and I'm like I like shonen and stuff getting blowed up real good.
And my last one is my tea, which is Natsume Yujincho. And the tea is what you wash everything down with at the end. It's warm. You just drink some warm tea right after a meal to relax. And that's Natsume Yujincho, because the show is so relaxing. And you really appreciate everything else you just consumed this entire anime hot pot. By just watching Natsume learn how to open up to others and make friends with both yokai and humans and grow into a wonderful person. And the characters, music, and art are all warming and ready to heal you. Oh, shoot, I just macked my microphone. I'm so sorry.
Mandy, I have a question.
Yes.
So in Hot Pot, one of my favorite things, and I just posted a picture for you in our Discord. One of my favorite
Abadage pouches?
Yeah, whatever. They're made of tofu. Yeah. They're like fried tofu.
Freezer.
And when you like put them in, they get like all fat and they absorb the broth. And
you can also stuff those with rice.
Oh. So what anime would you think might be that?
Oh, shoot, I don't know. I was trying not to make my list, like, it's extremely long. So I didn't think about that. I guess if it soaks up all the juices inside of it, that's kind of like what I did with March Comes in Like a Lion. I don't know.
I just love those things. Like they get very like fat with juices, and it's almost like it's like a fried tofu skin almost.
Yeah, it's what you use to make inari sushi.
That's right. Which is also delicious.
You put them in that juice and let them boil, so it soaks it all up, and then you stuff it with rice.
I don't know anything about food.
Really? You don't know what inari sushi is?
Nope. I'll eat it.
Sure. Come on, man. You've seen those sushi rolls where it's just like rice, and then they have like a little tofu skin layer on the outside.
Oh, is that what that is?
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I mean I really don't. I didn't know that's what it was called.
But you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. Well, that was awesome, Mandy. I'll tell you what, Mitz. Would you mind if I went next, just because mine's very simple, and then I want you to be able to kind of like round us off.
I just want to say before you go, and yes, of course.
Okay.
Is that Mandy's dish reminded me of all of the evenings that I spent over at Cram's house in Japan. We would get this nabe pot, and we're all sitting around like the Kotatsu, and we have the nabe pot on it, and we have just like trays of meat and vegetables and oysters and the tofu skins and the mushrooms and everything else and all this crazy amounts of beef and pork. And we would just sit around at the table together, me and Cram and Chiaki and I would sit around this table, watch like Game of Thrones for like 3 or 4 hours, and we would just gorge ourselves. And then Cram and I always had these special hot sauces that we put in the bowls together.
Of course.
So like Mandy's dish reminded me of like all those happy, warm feelings and fun that I used to have.
Yeah, that's
over
what I was going for.
Yeah, and it's freezing outside, and it's freezing inside.
I was thinking all the shows that had like warm feelings, except for Hozuki.
I
was trying to think of something that was like dark and tart. I was like, that's Hozuki.
For sure. Let me just tell you that like, especially like in the houses that Cram and I used to live in, they were very
no insulation.
There's no central air. There's no insulation. So the inside of your house is pretty much the same temperature as the outside of the house.
Yeah.
And the nabe pot and the kotatsu are really your only sanctuary from like 30-degree cold.
I wonder you can probably get a kotatsu here in the States.
Oh yeah, sure.
Are you gonna get one when you move to Colorado?
It's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea.
I would never leave it ever.
So it's like
I would like there all winter.
The kotatsu is warm underneath of it.
Yes,
but it's very insulated because of the blanket. The heat does from the kotatsu doesn't really make its way to the outside of the room all that much. But the nabe pot's heat does, and so like the whole room becomes like this very warm, inviting, good-smelling space full of like warmth, and it's almost like this safe, happy place where people can hang out around the kotatsu, and that's what Mandy's dish reminded me of.
Do they make reverse kotatsus?
They make something called a hori gotatsu.
What's that?
So I had one of these in my house because my house is very old. A hori gotatsu is where rather than having a table where you sit like Indian style under it or whatever with like the blanket in your lap, you sit with your feet going like imagine you have a floor with a square cut in it, and then there's like a 2-foot square space that goes down into your floor. So rather than sitting like cross-legged, you sit with your legs dangling down into this hole, and the heater's built into the bottom of the hole.
Yes.
Not into the table.
Yeah, there's like a pit.
That's called a hori gotatsu.
So what I was thinking of by reverse kotatsu is a kotatsu that is cooling instead of heating. Because we're in Florida.
They definitely need that too.
And it's hot as balls here at all times.
Pretty much.
So it just have like fans underneath it?
Yeah, or some kind of cooling element.
Huh. I don't think that exists.
That might be a
They
good
just
idea.
suffer through the heat.
That would be awesome in Florida.
It would be.
You just be like, I'm just going to sit underneath here and chill my balls. You know?
That's called a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a refrigerator.
Putting my balls in your
Just
refrigerator.
Just open your refrigerator, stick your leg up on like the countertop with your balls just like hanging free, and just let them wash. Let the cold air from the fridge just waft over your balls.
One day you're going to walk into your kitchen and you're just going to see my bare ass sticking out of your fridge. You're like, what?
Man, I love this Kotatsu, this reverse Kotatsu.
Wow, I never knew that that's what a reverse Kotatsu was.
I mean, it's what in my mind that's what it would be.
How would you market that?
That's a good question.
Like what would the ad campaign look like?
I mean, it would be in Japanese for sure.
Would it be like your ass just swinging free in front of a refrigerator?
Oh wait, so the refrigerator is the reverse Kotatsu.
Of course.
Is that what we've decided on? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I gotcha.
I was wondering what your marketing campaign would look like.
Gosh, I don't. There's so many thoughts going through my head. We should write a reverse Kotatsu commercial.
It's just like an image of the father and the family, like butt naked in the kitchen with his like leg propped up and his balls are like hanging down.
Yeah,
and
they're all sitting in the living room and it's just like hot and they're sweaty and they're trying to fan themselves and stuff and it's like the summer heat got you down. Try our reverse Kotatsu technology.
Want to surprise you?
And then it's just like the whole.
Want to surprise your children and their friends with your balls? Stand in your kitchen with your balls hanging out, and you're sure to be the hit of the party.
That's right.
I can just see like your 14-year-old daughter comes home with her friend from school, and dad is just sitting in the kitchen with his hairy ass and his balls hanging down in front of the fridge. Saying, Dad, not again.
No, he's sitting on the floor in the living room, and he's brought the fridge with him, and he's like laid it down on top of his body.
Come to sit around the reverse Kotatsu together, children.
Oh my lords in heaven.
That would be amazing.
Can there be like a father-son edition?
Guys, how am I not a millionaire?
I don't know. Can there be a father-son edition where the son is on a platform?
That's the advertisement.
And he's cooling his balls too, in the freezer.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then you have the kids standing underneath.
Oh, the father's on top and the kid's underneath, so the dad's balls are hanging on top of the little kid.
Oh no!
They're not touching them.
It's kind of like an intimate tea bag.
Yeah, he's going under the bridge. This is terrible.
Oh boy.
All right.
Okay then.
All right.
Well,
so let's hear about your food.
Oh sure. So in the past 45 seconds, I put together an anime pizza. And I'm gonna want to get your thoughts on these as well, so you can throw in ideas for the different anime. So of course, with any good pizza, you got to start with a strong foundation, the crust. All right, this is where it all begins and what you build off of. So what anime did we all begin with? I feel like a lot of us will say things like, Toonami and Cowboy Bebop and Dragon Ball and all this stuff, but not really. Most of us, I think, at least our generation, probably started off with something like Pokemon, maybe even Digimon or Sailor Moon even, because I was on early in the mornings when we were getting ready for school.
Card Captors.
Card Captor Sakura.
Actually, when did Card Captors come out? I don't remember.
90s.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think, when did it air during the day?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Naruto.
Naruto.
Because most of the people like at work that I talk to that have watched the anime, it's not Dragon Ball or Card Captors or something like that they got them started. It's always Naruto or Bleach.
Well, see, but Naruto didn't come out until 2003.
Yeah, but a lot of anime fans that were watching anime in 2003 are like in their mid-20s now.
Oh, yeah, we're old. I forgot.
Yeah, we're old.
Damn. So for me, for my personal anime pizza, the crust would be made out of either Pokemon or Digimon. Pokemon was the first anime I think I really got into as a kid. But Digimon just has a special place in my heart. So it's kind of hard to say, but it would be one of those. So, of course, you've got your crust laid down, your foundation, your anime foundation. On top of that, you got to put your tomato sauce.
Ooh.
Your rich, red, liquidy tomato sauce all over the place, just covered in red. And what better anime to be covered in red
Yeah.
than Berserk?
Elfin Lead.
Berserk?
Oh.
Yeah. Or Elfin Lee. That's a good one.
We're going with blood. It's a blood pizza.
It's red and it's
I'm
everywhere.
sorry, I'm out.
I'm out.
It's a blood pizza.
When I think of tomato sauce, I think of violence.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know, but I went with Berserk because I feel like Berserk is a show that everyone should watch for sure if you're of age.
agree.
Even
Even if you're not, if you're like 14, 10.
well, I don't know if we can legally tell them to watch that.
What? I can't be held culpable for the recommendation of an anime that is way beyond people's years. It's the parents' responsibility to monitor their own children.
That is true.
I'm sorry.
It's a fair point.
I had to make that known.
Okay, fair enough.
What other anime are hideously violent?
Mitsuki's opinions do not reflect the opinions of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
We need that as a drop.
Yeah, right. Just every now and then play it whenever you say something.
That could work.
Yeah, just to cover ourselves. So yeah, I went with Berserk, but Elfin Lee, that's a really good
Violent.
really good one.
It is very violent.
Yeah. And I really like that show. I know that show gets a lot of crap, but I thought it was really good.
That first scene of her just walking through. Oh
Just
man.
Slicing everybody up with
People
psychic
just
arms.
disappearing.
It's
Yeah.
gratuitous.
Yeah. But like I
Definitely.
actually really enjoyed that show, and I in a weird psychotic way connected with the main character where I was like, "Oh, I kind of get why she's doing what she's doing."
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
And I'm going to say Ninja Scroll
Ooh,
because
yes.
there's a scene in the beginning
really
of
good
Ninja
one.
Scroll where the guy, the rock man,
Yep.
lifts the ninja guy off the ground and he pulls on his arms
Yeah, rips him.
and rips his arms off. But he doesn't stop there.
Right.
He drinks the blood
Yep.
out of the arm. And I'm like, and it's like a waterfall of blood. Well, first of all, he throws his blade through the forest and kills all these ninjas, and it literally rains blood like a rain
Yeah.
shower of blood. And then he rips his arms off and drinks the blood out of it. So
Damn.
that man right there just literally painted your pizza. Well, yeah, and then he does horrible things after that. That anime is rough.
Was it Ninja Scroll with the nips that got sliced off?
I mean, oh.
That is Shigurui Death Frenzy.
Ah, it is Shigurui. Because I was thinking pepperonis. You got those sliced nips.
Wow.
We're gonna get there.
There's definitely nips in. I mean, this is like a.
Wicked
Your
City
pizza is
has-
disgusting.
Yeah. You
Spider
don't wanna...
lady, right?
Wait, what was that, Matey?
Wicked City had the vagina spider lady.
Yeah,
right?
the vagina dentata.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she's my hero.
Oh god.
Here it is, right here. Here's the literal.
Oh, you got the image?
The literal clip here on YouTube.
Oh god.
He's ripped this guy's arms off. Here he goes.
Oh jeez.
Look how bad it looks, by the way.
Yeah,
This
that
girl
is
looks terrible.
that animation though.
He rips his arms off. Boom, there they go. And she screams, and he's like, "Yeah, bitch. You like that? I ripped this guy's arms off." And she's terrified, and he's just gonna chug the blood right out of his. They don't make anime like that anymore. Look
No.
at that guy.
Good
And then he's
Lord.
gonna rape her later, which is horrible. But
Yeah.
that's what he does.
All right, so we've got the crust down. We've got our blood red tomato sauce
I'm already
everywhere. On top of that, of course, you got to put your cheese,
Oh boy.
your cheesy goodness. So I was trying to think of
Goodness.
some cheesy anime. The first one that came to my mind is K-On!, which is just cheesy goodness for me. I know you're not a big fan of K-On!, but I really enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun. It's very lighthearted.
I don't dislike K-On! It's fine.
That's fine. All right.
It's not great.
So I don't know what cheesy anime can you guys think of?
Ugh. Love Hina.
Oh God.
Cheesy.
Yeah, like just goofy.
Like
anime.
silly.
Yeah.
Well, Zombieland Saga was pretty silly.
Okay. Huh.
We just watched that for this season. And
Okay.
that's present in my mind at the moment
Okay.
because there's nothing sillier than watching zombies be idols.
True. Or how about Yakuza dudes being idols? What was that one? What was that called?
Backstreet Girls.
Backstreet Girls. There you go. That's on the list as well. All right, so there we go. We've got our cheesy goodness.
What about you, Manny? Do you have a cheesy one?
Oh, I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah.
No
what
problem.
what was that one anime about the girl? that
Prison School. Is that cheesy? Does that
Oh.
count?
That's pretty silly.
So Peter Wright in the chat says Cromartie High School.
There you
Oh
go.
Martina,
yes,
yeah.
that's a great one.
School Rumble.
School Rumble. Yes. All right. So
Azumanga Daioh is pretty cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
I have a
Azumanga
little
Daioh.
Mekazawa stuffed plushie sitting on my shelf.
nice.
I love Cromartie High.
Oh my God, Mekazawa. Okay, so then of course we got the cheese down. Now we got to go with our toppings. Of course, we're going to start off with our meat toppings.
Oh.
When I think of meat, I think of manliness.
You think of nips? as you already said?
I think of man meat is basically what
Wow.
I think of.
Swinging free. Right in front of the refrigerator.
So what could be more manly than Dragon Ball Z?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo, yeah, I was gonna say JoJo as well. You know what? You might be right there.
I mean, did you see the Pillar Man's buttocks?
You're right. You know what? I stand corrected.
6 cheeks. That is enough rock hard man buttocks to outfit a dozen pizzas. Maybe hundreds.
You might be right there.
Maybe hundreds. Or how about Fist of the North Star is pretty manly.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of man meat in that.
There is.
Yeah.
Or maybe Hajime no Ippo is kind of manly.
Oh.
Nakamura.
Yeah. And I mean.
And Ippo's well hung.
And Ippo.
He's well hung.
You want some extra sausage on that pizza?
You want a big long sausage? You go to Hajime no Ippo.
With the elephant sound effect. every time. Oh my god. All right, so we got the meat toppings now. Of course, you're gonna have to put some veggies on this pizza because veggies are important.
I like mushrooms and onions on my pizza.
Veggies are good for you. They might not be the most exciting to eat and most enjoyable, but they're good for you. And they're
yourself.
Huh?
I love I love mushrooms on my pizza.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not a big veggie fan.
Okay.
But I know that I have to eat them.
You're supposed to.
Although it's gonna be hard to eat.
Yeah, you're gonna suffer a little bit.
You're gonna suffer.
No doubt about that.
But it's good for you.
Yeah.
Just like Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh.
You're gonna suffer. It's hard to watch. But it's good for you.
Vegetable. Sorry, I've been thinking about this ever since.
Is mushroom a vegetable?
I'm not sure. It's a fungus.
Yeah.
I don't know. Google
When you
that.
mentioned mushroom, I'm sorry. That's all I could think of. I was like, mushroom's a vegetable.
So it's like you're supposed to eat them because they're healthy for you.
Right.
And as an anime fan, everybody should have seen Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily want to watch it.
Right.
Because you know it's going to make you feel bad.
Well.
Yes?
Yeah, I suppose.
Or something like Barefoot Gen. It's equally as bad.
For sure.
Like,
but it's necessary. It's important, and you should definitely eat your veggies.
Yeah. I'm eating so many carbs right now for this diet that it's like, when I think about eating vegetables, I'm like, why would I do that? Because I'm already eating 3,700 calories a day, and a vegetable isn't going to contribute anything to that.
Nutrients.
So I'm literally, but yeah, I could just take a vitamin.
Vitamins and minerals and
I
stuff.
could just take a multivitamin.
Yeah, you could.
But it's like, basically, I'm just eating something that doesn't really get me to my goal.
Mm-hmm.
So all I do is put spinach in my protein shakes.
Yeah.
That's about it. I should order some multivitamins.
Do you have green poops because of that?
Only because I eat blueberries.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what else gives you
I
green?
do like spinach. Sorry.
You know what else gives you green poops?
Don't know.
The Black Whopper from Burger King when they had that. The Halloween Whopper.
What the random shit?
Yeah, dude. Neon green poops. After I ate that. I was
neon green.
Neon green.
Like
Did you feel
Slimer
sick?
green?
No, I felt fine. I mean, I felt about as sick as you feel after eating Burger King, so it's normal. but yeah, neon green poops. I was like, oh my god, I'm dying.
Are we talking Slimer green? From
Yeah.
Ghostbusters? Oh,
yes.
You haven't seen Ghostbusters.
I'm talking like.
You know Slimer?
Yeah.
Okay, just check.
I'm talking like Gak from Nickelodeon in the 90s.
Maybe that's what Gak's made out of.
Possibly. But I was literally so concerned. I Googled it. I was like, why is my poop green? And everybody was like, oh, vegetables. And I'm like, I don't eat vegetables. And then I was like, why else is my poop green? I just had this Burger King thing. And it was like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, my shit's green from eating this Burger King Black Whopper. The Black Bun Whopper.
Wow.
So what ingredient made it black?
I guess it's just I don't know, whatever coloring that they're using. But there you go.
Weird.
Now you know.
It's weird that would make your poop green and not black.
This is a great reason never to eat Burger King.
Yeah, that is
You're
true.
just playing games with your body.
Dude, I was telling Mitz before the podcast today that like the food that I eat, like, and this is totally kind of like off subject now, but just to educate people, but like after eating clean for so long and going and eating just garbage here and there, like I notice not just a difference in how I feel physically, but like mentally and emotionally, like based off of what I eat. It's like it's so important. So
For sure.
There's your PSA for the day. Eat good, feel good.
Eat good, feel
Eat your veggies.
Now, of course, all right, so we've got our pizza. What goes better with a pizza than an ice cold beer?
Tabasco sauce.
Wait, okay, well, that too. But also an ice cold beer. So when I'm thinking of an ice cold beer, I'm thinking of something that is fun and goofy and makes you make bad decisions and just have a good old time with the boys. And no show epitomizes that more for me than Great Teacher Onizuka.
I was just thinking that. Give me a 5-5. Boom! Yeah. I was just thinking GTO, baby.
That's right. So yeah, GTO is my beer of choice, and of course, just because Onizuka, he's just having a good old time.
There it is.
Well, there it is. So that's how I'm gonna round off my anime pizza.
If I had Onizuka is like a nice hunk of anime man meat. Maybe he should have gone in the meat category too.
He could potentially, yeah.
He's gonna whoop some ass, and then he's gonna take 4 bullets in the chest for his student, and then go ace an exam right after that. He was gonna bleed out in the classroom, pass out on top of the table, but by God, he's gonna finish that test and get a 100 on it because he's the fucking man.
That's right.
And if you haven't watched GTO, what the fuck are you doing right now?
And he's gonna save your parents' marriage in the process.
Listen, if you're at
with
work,
a sledgehammer.
That's right.
He's gonna break down the walls in your heart and your home.
That's right. And look damn good with an 8-pack doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're at work right now and you're on your computer, and I'm talking to you, guy, typing on your computer, oh, this is funny, this podcast, I'm on my computer doing my work, and you haven't watched GTO, get the fuck up, go home right now. I don't care what your boss says, screw him.
You tell them that we told you.
He's a stick in the mud. He's no fun. No one likes him anyway. Get up, go home right now, and watch GTO.
That's right.
And I don't want you to come back to this podcast again until you're finished with it.
Or work.
Dang.
Don't go back to work until you're finished with it either.
Yeah.
It might take some time.
Right. It's going to take you at least a week to finish it. Get your ass going right now.
Here's what you do. You go outside of the office, jump into traffic, get hit by a car. So that way you can take time off and they can't stop you because it's like, bro, I'm hospitalized. So
Can we put that drop again?
So you have time to watch GTO.
Which drop?
It's foolproof.
No, I was like, we need that drop.
Senpai!
No, not that. The one that's like, Kazuo's opinions do not reflect the opinions of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. We don't have that drop.
I don't have that drop.
No, we don't.
I'm surprised you didn't do Kazuo's shitburger.
Oh, yeah, but I already ate this shit burger.
I have this drop.
All hail the Church of Mitsuki. Who was that?
That was you.
Who was that talented voice actor?
I don't know. He's great.
Man, so skilled. Such range.
Such passion. Such. What else is there to say but
Je ne sais quoi.
Kazuo? Are you done?
I'm done, man.
Oh my God.
Dang.
All right. So mine is the Italian Lebanese Christmas dinner.
Ooh.
A la Adult Swim.
Wait, I know you're Lebanese. Are you Italian too?
I am 1/4 Italian, 1/4 Lebanese. So I am 1/2 Mediterranean, and I am a bunch of other random shit like Scottish, Irish, and some other stuff.
I am a third British.
You're also a white man.
I'm like 1/2 Italian.
I am a white man.
A white man.
It feels good. I'm telling you what.
Well,
that white privilege washing all over my body.
Congratulations.
It's great, guys. Finally, I got to go tell all those cops that gave me a hard time.
All right, so I'm going to kick this off right here. So, no, this is actually like my family's Christmas dinner from my dad's side of the family. No shit. This is exactly what we would eat.
Oh, okay.
Spaghetti and meatballs is going to be there.
Of course.
It may be pen pasta or something, but probably it's spaghetti and meatballs. And so it's a long-time staple of the Italian dinner. Long and tangled, delicious, saucy. And it's going to have those goofy meatballs all mixed in there. Fantastic. And I can't think of any anime from Adult Swim. These are all from Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
It's the Italian Lebanese Christmas dinner, a la Adult Swim.
Nice.
I can't think of any anime that represents goofy with meatballs, spaghetti and meatballs, better than Shin-Chan.
Oh my God.
Has anything on Adult Swim ever been goofier than Shin-Chan?
Shin-Chan is legendary.
Silly and offensive with its comically excellent dubbing.
Yeah.
You know, Shin-Chan in English is nothing. It's not even the same show.
No. It's a completely different show.
They ripped the audio out of there, didn't even give a shit. And they're like, oh, we're just going to redo the writing ourselves and make this show completely not what it's normally about.
And it's hilarious.
It's very funny. It's saucy and sassy as hell. And Shin-Chan is the king of the meatballs with his silly ass dance that he does.
Oh, God, the ass dance.
And I actually have taken the time to cut a 45-second clip from Shin-Chan that is going to show you, the listener, that what they did to a show that was meant for like little kids. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is great. This clip is about the mother and father playing rock, paper, scissors to determine who does what, like chores in the house. Are you ready?
Okay, sure.
It never ends.
Our eternal battle.
To see who is the number one.
And who does the unthinkable.
Seconds to learn. A lifetime to master. Hands trained against the finest rocks, blades and parchments of the Orient.
We do this every Friday. It never gets easier.
Ready? I win!
Ah, come on, Mima. I get to wash you, and you get to claw Mommy's face when she dries you.
Hero, wait! Can't you blow dry just once for me?
I don't do the blowing in this marriage.
I don't do the blowing in this marriage.
Wow.
Are you shitting me?
Wow.
Are you shitting me? Shin-chan, you crushed it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, exactly.
That
Dude.
is.
Now, for those of you that haven't seen the English Shin-chan, it's like 100 episodes of that.
It's insane.
It's beautiful.
It reminds me of Ghost Stories.
God, it's great.
That.
The mother and the father are talking, and he says to her, I don't do the blowing in this family. Do you understand how insane that is?
That's, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Another one of my favorite scenes from Shin-chan is when the dad and the son are like dancing outside of the bathtub naked, and they're like, to be a man, you must have honor, and a penis.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm moving on. So, also of the Italian family, gnocchi.
What now?
Gnocchis, I have the definition here, are various thick, small, or soft dough dumplings that may be made from wheat, flour, eggs, cheese, potatoes, etc. I think normally potatoes is what we use.
Okay.
So they're like these little dough balls, and you make like basically pasta out of them.
Okay.
And so they're super delicious, but this is one of the heaviest foods I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
And when you eat this, you will feel sleepy for sure. Guaranteed. And so I associate this food with being sleepy. And so I need an anime that makes me feel sleepy also. And so from Adult Swim,
oh my god,
I used to watch Lupin the Third Part 2 every night over the summers, and it always came on at 4 a.m.
Wow, you stayed up that late?
Every night. Well, I'm playing like Final Fantasy 11 all night.
Yeah.
And so I'm always catching Lupin the Third at 4 a.m. And it was the last show on Adult Swim. And I would also fall asleep often watching Lupin the Third Part 2.
Okay.
So I've probably seen like 100 or so episodes of Lupin the Third Part 2. It's really good. That's the one. That's the Lupin the Third that I know the best. That's Green Jacket Lupin, I think. I'm not sure exactly. But
yeah, I think so.
So Lupin the Third is my gnocchi. It's the one that I always associate being sleepy with. Now for my fried chicken. My grandmother on my father's side would make like this really, really good fried chicken. I don't know if that why that's in there, but they just always made it. And it's greasy, it's delicious, and it has a personal touch. So it was always present at our Christmas table. So Cowboy Bebop is my choice for this one. And the reason is because in addition to having a literal song called Chicken Bone,
oh yeah, in the
soundtrack, Bebop is a delicious feast to enjoy. It just is. Mm-hmm. And even in the cast is like not really eating, so we'll feast in their place for the most part. But,
I mean, they're eating; they're just not eating any beef.
Yeah, just the bell peppers.
Yeah,
and the style is the greasy festival in your mouth of Bebop, and
a greasy festival in your mouth.
Right, because fried chicken is greasy.
They should put that on the DVD box.
And Grandma Yoko Kanno has applied her special secret blend of spices to the recipe to give it just that special little twinge that makes it unique to each family. So Bebop is the fried chicken.
Okay.
For the salad, we always had a salad of some kind. Inuyasha, because it's just light and fluffy and dumb, and it just kind of gets you ready for the real stuff. Because Inuyasha was
I
always...
haven't seen Inuyasha in so long.
Yeah, no one cares anymore.
I kind of wanted to go back and watch it, but it's like
it's not worthwhile.
It's not worth watching.
So the Inuyasha always came on fairly early in the Adult Swim block.
Yeah.
And so like it would kind of get you prepped and ready for like the stuff you really wanted to watch that came after, which was Cowboy Bebop, and then they had like what else did they like? another one that was on that you didn't really want to watch, but I'm gonna have it on the list next. And then, of course, like Scried was always on there.
Oh my god, you mean S-Cry-Ed?
S-Cry-Ed and Lupin and all this. So Inuyasha just kind of gets you like in the anime mind frame. Now, the next item is a horrible thing.
Yeah, I will say Moroku is actually still one of my favorite anime characters, though. I always loved him.
His voice actor just passed away.
I know, that was really sad.
So, also very sad is that my family is also Lebanese.
That's sad?
It is sad because they always have cow tongue at dinner.
I've had cow tongue.
It's awful.
In Japan.
It's awful.
No, it was good.
Well, my family...
Did we have cow tongue?
Yeah, I did. From a street vendor.
Was it during that big meal we had at the bathhouse?
No, I had it from a street vendor when we were on...
Oh, okay.
You paid money for cow tongue?
Yeah. It was good.
Foolish man.
It was deep fried.
So this shit always makes its way under the dinner table. Nasty ass taste buds staring up at you. My family doesn't like prepare the tongue the proper way anyway. Like they don't like cut a lot of it out and just leave you with the actual meaty part. They'll leave the fucking taste buds on there. It's disgusting.
Oh.
And so there's only one anime on Adult Swim's block that is as horrifying as the cow tongue itself, and that is Reign the Conqueror.
Oh, shit!
What? That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Reign the Conqueror and his little Speedo thong thing is worse than any cow tongue.
Oh, I remember this.
And this is the anime to conquer all anime, because after you watch Reign the Conqueror, you may never watch anime again.
Is that
I do not
even
remember this.
an anime, though?
Yeah,
I guess
it
so,
is.
Yeah.
It is, and it is some horrible shit.
Oh
See,
my
you guys don't even
God.
remember it.
I
because
remember this.
Psychologically, you have erased it from your memory. You're gonna have like this like recurring memory. You're gonna have to go to therapy to deal with the resurgence of this like laid dormant memory that you've had in your brain. Because Reign the Conqueror is so awful that you may never watch anime again after watching this shit.
It was terrible.
Dude, it was
I do
it's
not
beyond
remember this
bad.
at all.
In fact, this could be a great drinking game. Every time you see his like ass thong, drink.
Hey, first off, for a guy who's hating on a dude in a thong, you watch JoJo.
Yeah, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is amazing. This anime is dog shit.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
Ugh.
You know, your thong bias is showing.
Oh, God.
Sorry, your thong bias is showing.
Very nice.
I don't know, man. This guy on the horse looks so ridiculous.
There's no... I got to move on because I'm going to throw up.
I don't remember this show at all, but this picture got me.
For the eggnog...
That one.
Mandy, the eggnog.
Yes. I see it. I'm ready.
It's got to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because what else? What more is there to say? You may feel like you're drunk on eggnog after you watch some of this shit. JoJo zipper nipples, whatever the fuck they're doing in the new season.
Zipper nipples? I think we made up this.
People jumping in and out of bloody stumps, flamboyant designs, weird shit happening, crazy hair.
Jack the Ripper jumping out of horses.
Jack the Ripper jumps out of a horse, for God's sake. There's the stands and Stardust Crusaders are just bizarre pretty much in general. And bizarre is in the title. Yeah. And when you're drunk as shit on some eggnog that Granny made, because she's like...
Things are going to get bizarre.
She's like, I only got 10 years left, and I'm going to live every minute of this 10 years fucked up.
Wow. Your grandma sounds awesome.
So you better be prepared for some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So that's pretty much that's my list.
That's awesome. Well done.
That's great.
So that's the end of the topic.
Yeah, I think it was a fun topic, and I think we also were able to recommend a bunch of shows to people that they may or may not have seen.
Just don't watch Reign the Conqueror, for God's sake.
Yes.
How can I get my family to consume JoJo for Christmas?
Ooh.
Tie them to chairs.
Get them drunk.
Okay.
Tell them that
I'll do it the illegal way.
give them each a box that they have to open simultaneously. And in the box, say, I'm giving you the gift of JoJo. And so you will watch one episode of JoJo with me. And that's how you do it. Like, they'll have no choice but to watch it because you're giving it to them as your gift.
I feel like if you start with the original, like the original JoJo, not the original OVA, but the original like first season that came out after the OVA, wasn't as bizarre, for lack of a better term.
Oh!
So I feel like start with that, and then that'll kind of get them interested in the characters.
No,
and then
it's never going to work.
Then it gets weird after that.
All of JoJo's weird.
No, the first season wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. Like the original, like with what's his name?
Jonathan?
Jonathan. It wasn't that strange.
You mean the one where Jack the Ripper jumped out of a horse?
It gets weirder as it goes on.
Was that with Jonathan?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, I guess that's a little weird.
I don't remember that. Anyway, get us to a news break.
All right, guys. So we are going to take another anime news break. When we return, we'll be going over our impressions for the fall of anime 2018. Before we do, though, we have an in-show weekly trivia question. Mandel, would you like to read that for the listeners?
Sure. So our in-show trivia, this is a Guess That Anime, and the question is, since the death of his wife, he has been caring for his young daughter to the best of his abilities. However, with his lack of culinary knowledge and his busy job as a teacher, he is left relying on ready-made meals from convenience stores to feed his little girl. And the question is, what is that anime? And we'll answer it after the break.
Hey everybody, it's Mitsugi, and I know you're looking for some anime crack. It's time for the anime news. Well, it's hard to believe, but this Gaia, the original video game that came out on PS2, has now turned 15 years old, which is quite shocking. Dude, it's so shocking, dude! And so, it looks like to celebrate, Nippon Ichi Software has collaborated with Nagoya Communications Art School to create a minute-and-a-half long video honoring the series' cast of characters. If you're a big fan of Disgaea, there is an anime short that has been put out to celebrate the 15-year anniversary for Disgaea. Also, the game itself is just fantastic and has also come out on PlayStation 4 recently, so if you have that, you might want to check out that game as well. Disgaea Hour of Darkness is the first game in the franchise, debuted on PlayStation 2 in Japan on January 30th, 2003. And they recently released Disgaea 5, also on the PlayStation 2, back in 2015. It's also a pretty good game, so if you're a fan of the series, you can pick up these games and watch the animated short. Next up, you'll all recall that some years ago, Miyazaki had slammed some CG art designers that had created an artificial intelligence that was trying to create art out of some kind of a machine learning program, and Miyazaki called it, quote, an insult to life itself, which stunned the staff and the artists themselves. Well, several years have passed since this, and Miyazaki is also going to be appearing at another event in which they are going to finally unveil the finished product of the technology, which has been dubbed Art-to-Life. So it's going to be unveiled to the public. I think it already actually has been unveiled, so if you can find it online, it probably is worth seeing. Miyazaki said he would appear at the event, but not necessarily in person. So maybe he will have a recording or something. And it'll be kind of interesting to see what he has to say about the finished product, although I doubt he'll be quite as nasty to them as he was the first time. Next up, there have been some announcements regarding when the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie is going to be coming to theaters in the United Kingdom, which is going to be in January of 2019. So the film, it's called Broly the Movie, it's Dragon Ball Super, as we all know. The film will open in Japan on December 14th. And of course, we all know who Broly is. He appeared in past anime films and is a ridiculously strong Saiyan. This from Akira Toriyama. I am told I only drew his design. At that time, I was mostly uninvolved with the anime, so I completely forgot the details. Akira Toriyama sort of revealing himself that he actually has been working on Dragon Ball for so long that he no longer remembers all the details of his own creation, and actually was not all that involved in the creation of the first Broly movie, which I'm not surprised by because it was not very good. So if you want to check out the Broly movie, it looks like it's coming out in theaters in the United Kingdom, coming out in Japan, and it'll probably be coming out in the United States and online sometime soon. Lastly, MVM Entertainment has announced that they are doing quite a lot of acquisitions of anime properties. The Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel films, in addition to Katsugeki Token Ranbu Cells at Work, the record of Grand Crest War, Regatta Reset, Star Mew, Seven Immortal Sins, Scum's Wish, record of Hero of Arslan Senki, Maiden Abyss, Princess Principal, Vatican Miracle Examiner, and others. So, looks like a lot of acquisitions are happening for MVM Entertainment, so we'll have to see what kinds of plans they have for these acquisitions if they've purchased. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, once again, time to get back to the anime podcast.
Hi, this is Melissa Fawn, and I'm the voice of Radical Edward from Cowboy Bebop. Have you seen Fei-Fei? Fei-Fei, are you anywhere around here? Anyway, I wanted to let you know that I am an anime addict. You hear me? I am addicted to anime.
What does Kazuo think of Evangelion?
I understand that End of Evangelion was a conclusion for the series, but that didn't come out till way later. That's like someone giving you a cheeseburger, but instead of like the meat, it's dog shit. And then later on, they're like, oh, here's the meat patty. Yeah, but I already ate this shit burger. I mean, I get that the meat patty kind of like helps, but the burger is on its own. So that's kind of how I view Evangelion. It's like a dog shit burger with a meat patty that you get later. So no, I didn't really enjoy it all that much.
You don't like eating dog shit?
Not, I mean, only on Wednesdays. And we are back to the 445th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
Hello.
You know what this piece is called?
I believe this is Booty 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 Rockin' Everywhere.
Very accurate.
Close.
No, is that not
It's
it?
box air on a G-string.
Same thing,
The
basically.
G-string that is rocking everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It's the same thing, basically.
Same thing.
Yeah. At some point, are we going to stop numbering our episodes? Because I feel like it's going to get a little ridiculous when we're like, welcome to episode 1762.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, hi,
It's a
everybody.
point of honor.
It's true. Honor, is that what it is? Or is it psychosis?
Both.
A little bit. All right, so before we went on our news break, we asked you an in-show weekly trivia question. And we're going to go ahead and run that back. Mitz,
Oh.
what do we got?
Okay. Since the death of his wife, he has been caring for his young daughter to the best of his abilities. However, with his lack of culinary knowledge and his busy job as a teacher, he is left relying on ready-made meals from convenience stores to feed the little girl, which is such bullshit, by the way, because he could easily go to, like, the friggin' grocery store and get ready-made meals from the grocery store.
He could get a food delivery service. I just signed up for one.
He's basically the worst father ever because,
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in Japan. I'm sorry. They have high-quality foods pre-prepared for you in the grocery stores in Japan that are much better than convenience store food. So, sir, don't go to the damn convenience store because, hello, like you're worried about the nutritional value of the food in the convenience store.
Right.
Well, you have another option. It's called the friggin' grocery store. Okay?
Yeah.
So get with it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
See, I don't even know what
He's got to
say.
get his life together. But you know what, man? He's grieving. He just lost his wife. He's young,
Man, what a
single
bunch of
father.
bullshit.
Anyways, the anime is Sweetness and Lightning.
This is bullshit.
What?
I mean, yeah, like your wife died. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
feel
sorry.
bad.
I was whatting the accent.
This is bullshit.
Okay.
I feel bad for the guy. His wife just died, but look, you have a daughter to care for.
true,
You have
man.
responsibilities. Go to Yaoko, the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Yaoya or one of those grocers.
Okay.
And get some damn bentos.
Or just
Get
sign up.
get some food.
Just sign up for one of those meal delivery services.
I don't think they have that in Japan.
No, I just signed up for one.
Did you?
Yeah, and it's I don't know if I posted, I think on Facebook or something, but I cooked a pork Milanese.
You cooked?
Yeah.
Ah!
And you know what? I only burned myself once, and I did have to unhook the smoke detector because it went off. But
Is it the Blue Apron?
that's one of them, but that's not the one I signed up for.
Oh, okay.
So I signed up for HelloFresh, which is better in a lot of ways and cheaper.
Interesting.
But not an advertiser of the podcast, so this is just me saying something that I did.
Not yet, baby.
Not yet, but who knows? Yeah, so it was super easy. You just follow the instructions, and then you burn yourself, and then you burn the food. But hey, it works eventually.
Then you burn down your entire place.
Yep. Then you burn your cat down, and
You know, these other...
But hey, at least you had a dinner delivered to your doorstep.
That's right.
all right. So before we get into our impressions, where we talk about what we think about anime, let's talk about what the listeners think of us in a 5-star review.
It's time for iTunes review.
Of course, you can always head on over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, just like Your Snowman did. Your Snowman says,
My
great
snowman?
podcast. Yes, yours specifically.
Let's have Mandy read
You
this
want
in
to
her...
build a snowman?
Or
Mandy, can you read this in your Wigglytuff voice?
the
No.
whole thing.
Wiggly
I shut that down. No. Oh gosh.
That Wigglytuff was almost a little like
it's awesome.
The second part was almost a little like I'm gonna say erotic. She was like,
what?
A little bit. Play it back.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Am I right?
That
second part.
I want you to know that the fact that you think that is erotic has me a little concerned for you.
I feel like Wigglytuff is coming on to me right now, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Mandy.
Yes.
I'm really worried about him.
I'm like currently looking up Wigglytuff moves. I was like, does Wigglytuff have like a move that could be considered erotic?
It's got double slap, which I mean, depending on what you're into.
Throat choke.
There's pound.
Pound? Are you kidding me right now? Come on, guys. I'm just saying, Wigglytuff.
Oh yeah, because it's a fairy. Now it has play rough.
There you go,
guys. Come on. I'm not crazy here, right?
Read the damn 5-star review. It's the longest episode ever.
The 5-star review says, this podcast gives you anything that you might need. Also, they have great Discord that has a lot of cool things like the Manga Club. Also, Enzo sucks, but Kazuo is great. No, that's not what he said. Enzo is the golden kohai that deserves to be appreciated by everyone. This is true. So thank you so much, Your Snowman, for leaving us that 5-star review. We really appreciate it. And again, if you would like to do the same, you can do so by heading on over to iTunes and dropping us a 5-star review as Mitsuki plays random drops.
For coming to the Manga Club.
And now, it's impression time. Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
All right, so today we're going to be doing impressions on a few different anime. We've got Thunderbolt Fantasy. We've got Run with the Wind. We've got Release the Spyce, Goblin Slayer, and Ulysses, Jeanne d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight. I am not sure how to pronounce that correctly, but I did my best.
Sounded right.
Yeah. So how do we want to start here, Mitz?
I'm going to start with Thunderbolt Fantasy, I guess.
Okay. Season 2.
Season 2. So Thunderbolt Fantasy is
not an anime.
No, it's not. And before the season started, I said I'm going to really try to keep this to like 5 minutes. Okay. Before the season started, I said this was going to be better than any of the anime that would come out this whole season. I'm not sure if that's still true or not, but it's pretty damn good. So Thunderbolt Fantasy is done in a style of puppeteering that is Taiwanese and is really damn impressive. And the staff behind this show is really impressive. The music is done by TM Revolution. Mm-hmm. If that wasn't enough.
Amazing.
Written by Gen Urobuchi.
Ridiculous.
Of Nitro Plus.
Yeah. So, they do things with puppeteering that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it.
How?
They got, there's scenes where like the puppet will jump up, grab a banister at the top of a room, do a split to avoid like the swords coming at him from like sideways, from horizontally. I don't know how they do it. Some of the action in these shows is freaking unbelievable. It's, with like a hint of like magic, like those like, they'll have like, special effects for magic and things like that happen. But there's a lot of sword fighting. It's definitely an action show. So the tricky part of this review will be getting all the names right. So it's of course set in the East. You would think of it as China probably. Don Fei and there's a guy. I don't know if I want to run through all the Chinese names. It's pretty tough.
Yeah,
there's a guy in the show the main character who has a scroll that contains, I'm just gonna say like 30 swords in it that they can summon from the scroll to obtain this sword.
He's like the dude from Fate.
Yeah, sort of.
What's his name?
Gilgamesh?
Yes, Gilgamesh.
Except that these swords are so powerful that some of them by themselves could bring about the entire ruin of mankind.
Jeez.
He's walking around with like 30 of these things in this scroll. Good news is he's a good guy and he's not really looking to destroy mankind. Okay. Also, the composer of the music is Hiroyuki Sawano. If it wasn't enough like star power behind this, and so what happens is he gives the scroll to this elderly type gentleman who is running this fortress type facility where he believes the scroll will be safe from the hands of evil.
Okay.
So he hands over the scroll. However, there is the Princess of Darkness is wanting the scroll for its power, and she is like a master of deceit and treachery and poison and all this stuff. She's very bad, and so she is able to, as her name suggests, use her treachery to get into the fortress and steal the scroll. Now, the main character, I think his name's Don Fei, he doubles back around, and he's like, oh my god, Princess of Darkness is here, gotta get in there and stop her. And so he pretty much arrives just in time to catch the thing, like the thievery happening in the act, and huge fight ensues between himself and the Princess of Darkness. And what happens? The result of the fight, they're like fighting on rooftops and shit. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon shit.
Yeah.
And the music is so freaking epic. Like when the music swells up in these battle scenes, it's just you just know it's TM Revolution and it's freaking amazing. And what happens is the scroll gets cut in half, and he ends up with one half. The Princess of Darkness ends up with the other half. There's another guy who shows up that plays like a guitar that has it's like an old fashioned Chinese guitar, and it talks. It has like the bow staff on it. It has like a dragon face, and it speaks to him. And like he's really powerful too, so it's 2 against 1 all of a sudden, and the Princess of Darkness flees. She runs away. She's got half the scroll. Don Fei's like, well, you're not really going to be able to get all the swords out of there because now the scroll's damaged. I could probably fix the scroll if I had a couple of days to fix it. But the Princess of Darkness is really strong in magic, and she's able to extract a couple swords out of the scroll. Anyway, one of those swords is a sword where, using it, you can basically turn people into zombies and make them do your bidding. So the next 2 episodes of the show, more or less, are a couple of cool battle scenes between him and the Princess of Darkness, where she like enslaves whole villages and sends the people to come after Don Fei, and so there's a lot of really intense fight scenes going on. And then a character from, I can't remember his name, but he's the character from the last season that smokes like the pipe that he can like make magic happen with the smoke.
I remember him, yeah.
He shows up and he's working with another guy, like a detective type person, that they think that, they sort of think that Don Fei is involved in the theft, but really the guy with the pipe knows it's not him. So he's just trying to find him so he can help out, I think. So they're there, and they're sort of trying to locate him so they can help out. And it's sort of like this cat and mouse game of trying to gain control of the swords at this point.
Editor note. Don Fei is the priestess from Season 1. The main guy is Shengbu Huan.
Thank you.
That's from IcyRose, of course.
Thank you. So I would say that this is basically a show you have to watch from the season. I would say that the action scenes are pretty much as good or better than any of the action scenes I think you're going to get from an anime. And that's just because of like how fast-paced moving it is. The special effects are freaking crazy. The budget for this has got to be insane. I mean, the puppets are 3 feet tall. Do you know how they do this shit? They get under them, and they got like their whole torso up inside the puppet. Their whole arm is up in there, controlling it.
Yeah.
So like this puppet's not like a foot tall. It's literally like 3 feet tall.
Jeez.
It's almost like an entire person. And I have no freaking clue how they make them have sword fights and stuff. When you look at the things they do, you got to kind of stop and say, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, how is this possible?
It must take forever.
I have no idea. Yeah. That by itself is worth watching it for, just to see the spectacle of it. Mm-hmm. You kind of know after 3 minutes that Thunderbolt Fantasy is some epic freaking shit. Mm-hmm. And it's just on a different level. It just is.
Yeah, definitely recommend watching the first season for those that have not. It is
I was going to
insane.
ask, do you have to watch his first season?
I'm going to say no, because they don't reference anything from the first season, really.
That's cool.
At least at this point. They kind of explain, he's got a scroll with powerful swords in it,
Yeah.
Which was in the first season, but it's not like the story's not that deep, so it's not like you have to have all these references from past. You might get more out of it because you recognize old characters.
Yeah, I would still say watch it because it's awesome.
Oh, watch it for sure.
Yeah.
This is basically the easiest pass ever. So let's go ahead and do that.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? I have exorcised the demons. Yes!
Whoa, one more time, baby.
No, what? No.
Yeah! Can you...
Yeah, so yeah, Don Fei was... Don Fei is like the beautiful princess girl, that was right. And Shangbu Huan is the name of the guy, like the main character. I can't remember the Princess of Darkness's name, but I don't know. It doesn't. I'll say it wrong anyway, so it won't matter.
This house is clean.
This house is clean. Next.
All right, Mandy, is this you?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Run with the Wind. All right, so Run with the Wind, novel adaptation by Production IG. It's directed by Kazuya Nomura, and the character designs are by Haikyuu's character designer, Takahiro Chiba. And the original novel was also written by the author of The Great Passage, who is Shion Miura. And yeah, so I was very intrigued by the PV for Run with the Wind when we did our picks, because it was very apparent this was a sports anime that featured adult men who were, and they're all a college age. They're all in college. And after hearing the original source material was a novel, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say The Great Passage was so freaking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to finish it. I started it and then I ended up putting it on hold for something else, but I need to finish it. After hearing the original source material was a novel, I was even excited for it because I figured we might see less of the common tropes you see in sports anime, especially ones adapted from like manga, from like shonen manga. And for the most part, so far, it doesn't, which I was very pleasantly surprised by. First episode is Kakeru Kurahara. He's our main character, and he's running away from a pursuing store clerk because he stole food. And he meets Haiji Kiyose, who chases him down with a bike. And Kiyose yells to him, so you like running? And we learn that Kakeru is actually homeless, living by stealing food. And so Kiyose invites him to live in their college dorm. And then from there, we meet an entire cast of very interesting characters, all with their like distinguishing traits that don't really, for the most part, don't really fall into really overdone tropes. Musa is a foreign exchange student from Tanzania, and Nico has a nasty smoking habit, and Yukihiro loves to stay out and go clubbing all the time. I think the most tropey ones are probably the twins, Taro and Jiro, who are like the twins in Oran High School, who they're kind of mischievous, and they like to trick people into trying guessing who is who. And there's also an otaku named Akane, or aka Prince, who obsessively collects manga. He has loads of it, and I instantly related to this guy. So I feel like the only character so far I don't really know much about is Shindo. I'm hoping like he shines later on. But one thing that I really like so far is, unlike many other sports anime out there, they don't start as a team right at the beginning of the show. They're not even athletes. They didn't even know they were being manipulated by Kiyose into a track team, because Kiyose tracked down each of them, offered each of them like to stay in this large dorm house for very cheap, and then broke the news later on after introducing Kakeru that he intended for all of them to start up a competitive track team that's going to compete in the Hakone Ikiden marathon, which is supposed to be a very brutal run. And of course, none of them want to do it. So Kiyose tells them the only way they can continue living there in that cheap dorm is if they participate in the track team. So the second episode is a really funny episode with Kiyose going around manipulating each of the members into staying into the dorm. He tells Shindo that seeing their son winning the Ikiden would really impress his parents, and he blackmails Musa into joining the team by reminding him that it was he who got him his job. And he tells the manga kid that if he joins the team, if he quits the team, he's gonna have to pack up all of his manga because he can't live there anymore. Poor manga kid's like, no, I have so many. But despite being extremely clever and manipulative, Kiyose also encourages them a lot when they start practicing their running. And so speaking of practicing running, all of the guys are so extremely out of shape at the beginning of the show. And it actually portrays being out of breath very well. Like, they're all gasping for air, almost dying at the end. And they're only running like 6 miles a day so far. And they're dying after 3. It's great. But I was originally concerned with the show being like 23 episodes, because I thought, man, they're going to really stretch this out. But so far, the characters have a lot to go. So I think they could easily fill that 23 episodes. All the characters have flaws. There's plenty of room for improvement and development for each of them. And I really want to see them grow. I love all of them so far. I can't wait to watch them run the Ikiden marathon, because if you look it up online, it's a very brutal run. There's like this really steep hill they have to run down too. But so yeah, just to quickly touch on like the presentation, the animation's very fluid. The scenes, especially the dorm rooms, are very packed with details. All the character designs, of course, like Haikyuu's, are very, very lovely. And yeah, so far I'm extremely excited for this show. I loved it, and I think out of all of the new series I picked this season, it has the most potential. So I am definitely passing it.
Oh, wait. Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
We need new pass. We need new pass drops.
New pass drops. Well, listeners, if you have a bit of audio from a show or a movie or something of that nature that you think would work as a pass or a fail drop,
oh yeah, you can send it to me.
Send it to Mitsugi at AAAPodcast.com.
That's right. Do it.
And if you have
otherwise, I'll just make my own. But
nudes, send them to me at Kazuo at AA. I'm just kidding.
Where's that drop? We need that drop right now. Kazuo does not reflect on the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
So I think Mitz is looking for it or something. I don't know what he's doing.
NUDZPLZ.
Oh God.
Oh,
Nudes,
there it is.
please. I love that drop because it has Chiaki like laughing and then going, oh, "What?
What?"
That's funny. All right, so next up,
I took that off the board because I didn't think we'd ever use it.
That's
and
hilarious.
lo and behold,
well, you know,
there it is.
Sometimes you got to bring it back. So I will be doing an impression on a show called Release the Spyce. So
release it.
Oh
yeah, so
we should mention that Release the Spyce is available on High Dive.
It is,
which is a sponsor of the show. That being said, the opinions expressed in this impression are our own opinions.
That's right.
No one is telling us what to say. No one is paying us for this impression.
Yeah.
It's just our opinion.
Basically, we were very concerned that people would go like, oh, they sold out and they're going to pass all the High Dive stuff because they have to. Well, I've had many conversations with High Dive about this, and they are not interested in that. They are not interested in influencing our opinions, and I think the quote was something like along the lines of, if you think Bloom Into You is the biggest piece of shit ever, and you want to say that, then you go right ahead, was paraphrasing what I was told.
Yep. So just want to put everybody at ease to let them know that we're still keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it 100.
That's right.
At all times.
I don't know what keeping it 100 means, but
100% real.
Oh.
Thank you. Good job, Mitz.
Like all natural, organic?
Yes. Raw. Keeping it raw.
Raw and uncut.
Ew.
I don't know.
All right. Well, Release the Spyce is a show that was created by Takahiro, who is a guy who also wrote Samurai Flamenco and Akame ga Kill. So if you're familiar with those, you're familiar with his work. The studio is a relatively new studio. They've been around for 5 years or so. I got a great name. I love the name of the studio, Lay Deuce.
Is that really it?
That is 100% their name. So
I'm looking this up.
Lay Deuce Inc. is the name of the studio, who's worked on literally just a handful of stuff because they've only been around for 5 years. The only other
it is.
I know. The only other thing that I'm somewhat familiar with that they worked on is Magi, The Adventure of Sinbad, which I don't remember being that great. But I don't think I watched all of it. So Release the Spyce is a show about a group of girls in high school, and they are part of an organization called the Tsukikage, which is a group of spies, basically. So they're all spies. And the main character, who is Momo, is kind of a
peach.
She is a peach. That is what Momo means.
It means.
Yeah. But she is kind of new. She's a kohai, and she really respects like one of the older students there who happens to be in this spy organization. And she kind of gets indoctrinated into the organization and learns how to be a spy and do all kinds of like cool spy stuff and kung fu and all this craziness and sword fighting. And the first thing I thought of when I watched the very first episode of the show is, this reminds me so much of a show called Totally Spies, which I don't know if any of you remember this.
I've heard of it.
Mandy, do you? No?
No, I don't.
Totally Spies was a show, I think it was on Cartoon Network.
Yes.
And it was... Yeah, it's basically a bunch of high school girls who are spies. And that's exactly what Release the Spyce is, except the anime version. And people in the chat are saying Princess Principal. There are some similarities to Princess Principal, but I think they're very different shows. Like Princess Principal was much more like noir, I think. This is just a lighthearted show about some young girls being spies and just being cute young high school girls. Basically, that's it. Like, there's not a lot of depth to it or anything like that. It's just fun and lighthearted. I will say, I didn't. It's a weird one because it's like I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch, but there's not much to it. It's just a kind of like surface level, kind of show. The action sequences are kind of cool. The fights that they have, the sword fights and stuff. Like, there's a cool scene where they're in a car chase and they're like jumping on top of the cars and stuff like that. Like, there's all kinds of cool stuff like that, but I don't know if it's something that is going to keep my attention for very long. And when it comes to, we can only pass 8 shows this season, I don't think this would be one of them. It's like right there on the cusp for me. But no, unfortunately, I'll be failing Release of Spyce.
Shame. 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 Shame.
But if you liked Totally Spies, you will like Release the Spyce. So definitely check it out if you liked that show. Totally random, but it was whatever.
Am I up again?
I guess so.
Is this the last impression?
Your last impression.
Oh, you have one more.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is based on a manga by Kosuke Kurose. And I hope I got that right. Or there's 2 of them. Well, okay. I think it's Kosuke Kurose.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those like artist and writer teams.
So this is an anime that is done by Studio White Fox, and the story is not super complex. There is a girl, the very first character in the show, her name is Onna, which literally means woman. Onna Shinkan. Shinkan, her name is woman. And she...
Wait, what does Shinkan mean?
Well, I don't know. Shinkansen means bullet train.
Right.
Bullet woman.
Bullet woman or train woman?
Train woman.
Oh, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there in this anime.
All right, guys.
Okay, so basically, Onna meets up. She's a rookie adventurer in this anime, which is basically set in like a D&D type setting, medieval times, whatever. She's a healer, and she meets up with this group of newbies. They're all 10 rank or whatever the hell their rank is when they're a newbie. I don't remember what their rank. There's like 10 ranks in these guilds, and one of the ranks is like 10. Whatever the lowest one is, that's what she is.
Okay.
She meets up with a bunch of other low-ranked fighters that are all basically newbies. And they're like, oh, there's this quest where it's a lot like you would expect from a D&D type anime. They go to like the quest, they go to like the counter and they go, oh, well, what kind of quests have been submitted? And then they go, okay, well, there's this quest where you can go kill these goblins. And they're like, oh, goblins are easy. They're like, I kick the shit out of those from my village all the time. We can go kill them. So they're like, oh, they're going to go to this goblin place. They go into this goblin den, right? And they don't really know what they're doing. They have a guy with a sword the sword is too long to be swinging it around inside of a cave. They have a bunch of like inexperienced mages and stuff. And so basically what happens is that they get ambushed from behind, and there's also a very large goblin called a hobgoblin that is in the cave as well. And you essentially learn throughout the episode that really it's not a great idea to go into a goblin's den if you're a newbie. Maybe kicking a goblin that's in your village is one thing. Going inside their den, where there could be like goblin shamans, hobgoblins. I feel like I learned a lot about goblins watching this anime, etc. Not a great idea. So the boy with the sword gets killed very viciously. This anime is pretty violent. Think about like a guy getting like gang tackled by a bunch of goblins, and then they just stab him to death with various weapons. And this is like blood, and he's screaming, and he dies. And the girl, I think it's the girl fighter. She's like a monk. She's got like the brass knuckles and stuff. She puts up a good fight. She gets taken down. And if I recall correctly, she basically gets raped by the goblins, but they don't show any of it. They kind of show them kind of like behind her and giggling about it. And then then they cut away from it. I actually think that like for considering what Mandy said about the manga, I think the anime is a little tamer than I expected. Crunchyroll made this big deal about how like, oh, it's so horrible. We got to put a disclaimer on the first episode. And I'm like, this isn't even remotely close to what an anime like Berserk would be like. And so it's not. And so, I mean, anime has gotten pretty soft these days. Like, it's pretty soft. I mean, there's no nudity. They don't actually show them, raping her, for lack of a better word. That's what it is. And people are making a big fuss out of Goblin Slayer. I'm like, well, this anime is not that violent. There's literally nothing of that nature in the second and third episode at all. There's that one small scene in the first episode, and I'm like, either people have become really soft, or like the regulations on anime have become really strict, or both.
Well, I stopped reading it around volume 3, and it gets worse.
Well, all I'm saying, Mandy, is that like I would probably call this anime PG-13 after the first 3 episodes, because I thought watching that kid get stabbed to death by the goblins was a lot more aggressive than what they did to the girl, because they don't show any of it. Like, it happened, but they don't show it happening. Right. Anyway, they're getting their asses whooped. The cleric girl's about to have the same fate as the other girl, but then the Goblin Slayer comes in, and he just wrecks house on these goblins. I mean, he's explaining all the errors that they made, like your weapons are too long, you're not prepared, you don't know if there's a shaman, blah, blah, blah. He goes in there, and he's just wrecking house, kills everything. Everybody dies except the cleric girl. And then they leave, basically. That's what happens in the first episode. It's a very exciting, very good first episode of the anime. Mostly what I wanted, I think, from Goblin Slayer. And then the second episode has a little more backstory on the Goblin Slayer. They kind of hint that his village was destroyed, and he's got some really hideous grudge against goblins. They didn't really go into it into detail, but I think that, and Mandy will probably confirm, either his village was destroyed and his whole family was killed. Something of that nature must have happened at the hands of goblins. And because they briefly touch on that, and he's just totally obsessed with goblins. There could be like a quest that's worth millions of gold, and he would pass that up if he could just kill a couple goblins for like 5 gold. He wouldn't care. But he goes and takes care of this like little farm where there's this really large-breasted girl with pink hair who's super hot, and the large-breasted girl with who's super hot kind of has a crush on him, but her father says you should stay away from him. He's dangerous or whatever. But he kind of goes through and fixes their fences and checks for goblins and makes sure that there aren't any goblins around. And in the second episode, they take on another quest where he goes with the cleric girl again to take out a goblin fortress, and he kind of just stands at a distance and just shoots fire arrows at their fortress until the whole thing's in flames. And then when they all go to escape from the fortress, he tells the cleric, you should make a magical barrier in front of the door, which makes them unable to escape the burning building, and they all burn to death. And then the ones that are kind of left over, he kills them. That's pretty much the second episode. I don't think I'm missing too much in there. Third episode, there are some other characters introduced. There's like an elf girl who's like 1,000 years old, and a very weird-looking human-animal hybrid type character who is with the elf girl, and they have another important mission that is a little more dangerous. Like evil is encroaching upon the land, and a symptom of this is that there's this like really problematic goblin infestation or something of that nature, and the Goblin Slayer doesn't even care about the fact that the world's about to end. He just wants to kill the goblins. But when they mention that the goblins are involved, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm in. I'm suddenly in." And so the cleric girl, who shouldn't be going on this quest anyway because she's too weak, the Goblin Slayer, the elf girl, and the half human, half animal hybrid guy kind of are all going off on this quest in the third episode to take on this huge mission. It really feels like D&D. Like they do this prep thing where they're kind of talking about the mission. They're going to gear up for the mission. Then they kind of set off, and they're kind of walking to where they're going to do their battling. And in the third episode more or less ends with them around a campfire, and they're kind of sharing stories and sharing food with each other. And that's kind of what the anime is like. It looks very nice. I think it looks a lot better than I expected. I found it visually appealing. I can't recall all that much about the music at this point, but like I recall it looking good. I was entertained by it. I thought it was a lot less violent than I wanted. Like I wanted pure savagery. Like I wanted real savage shit happening. And I mean, maybe that will happen in the 4th, 5th, 6th episodes, but from the first 3 episodes, all this like talk about how Goblin Slayer is so awful is completely overblown, in my opinion. I haven't seen. I'm sure there's probably an uncut version of the anime where those goblins go to town on that girl for like 4 or 5 minutes. Which
I still thought it was quite a bit. I watched the first episode and I was done.
I really didn't think it was that bad, But maybe I should watch that scene again. But I didn't really think it was. I wasn't like, oh my, the scene with the goblins and the girl only lasted like 8 seconds.
I think the problem is it was completely unnecessary.
Well, I mean, that's for sure. There's no reason why the goblins have to have, lusting after humans and they have to rape them. That's definitely probably always unnecessary, I would say. But it's not
but
like...
yeah, the manga for sure was way worse.
I mean, it's not like they're holding her down and
Way
watching
worse.
him thrust in and out of her over and over again while she screams. Like, that's just not in there. It just isn't. Maybe it will be. I doubt it, though. Like, anything like that's going to be censored and saved for, like, Blu-ray releases. I don't really know. But, I almost watched the 4th episode before passing this because I was like, the 4th episode is going to have something cool in it because they're off on this mission. And I think the 4th episode is going to have... Could have been, like, the breaking point for this anime on whether or not I would pass it or not. But I really think that, like, it's a pretty high-profile anime. I did enjoy watching it. I thought it was pretty good. And, yeah, why the hell not?
I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited? Feel these nipples.
Screw it.
Probably not the best pass drop for this particular situation.
Yeah. It's not like I'm picking them, like,
I know, I'm
carefully.
joking. All right, last up is a little show called Ulysses, Jeanne d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight. So this show is brought to you by Studio Axis, which has worked on a handful of stuff and has only really been around for a couple of years and hasn't really worked on anything of note that I could find. The director is Shin Itagaki, who has directed quite a bit of garbage. He directed Basquatch. He directed The New Berserk, both seasons. He directed the Devil May Cry anime.
Oh, shit!
What a great anime.
Yeah, he's, whatever. TQ, a bunch of, just a
John
shitload.
Really close to those strawberry sundaes.
Yeah, so
No!
This guy's been around.
No, it's a bad Mandy.
He
went from pizza to strawberry sundaes.
No.
He's done some things. And so the show, I'll just read you the synopsis here real quick. It is set in the 15th century during the 100 Years' War between France and England over the succession to the French throne. Montmorency, who is the main character, he's the son of a noble. He immerses himself in the studies of magic and alchemy at a royal knight training school. However, following France's crushing defeat in Agincourt, the school is dissolved. Having lost everything and now a wanted man, he becomes an alchemist and encounters a mysterious village girl named Jeanne. So the show starts off, takes place in a school, kind of as they mentioned in the synopsis, and he is a young kid. There is a time skip after I think the first episode, but one of his friends is a girl who is a really good fighter, very talented, and she kind of goes off somewhere to a battle and gets captured, and then he takes it upon himself to study, because he's kind of not a really good fighter or anything like that. So he wants to study alchemy and get the Philosopher's Stone so that he can become powerful enough to, like, save her, I guess. And he meets some kind of, like, fey creature who tells him, that she's going to help him, accomplish this goal. Then it cuts to several years later, I think like 3 years later or something, I forget how many years later. He's older, he's an adult, basically, or a young adult, and he still hasn't been able to successfully create the Philosopher's Stone. So he ends up going on this journey. He meets this young girl, who is Joan of Arc or whatever, and she lives in the woods with a bunch of little, I don't know what they are. I'll just call them
piglets. I'm just kidding.
Piglets. No, they're like little tiny fairy creatures, and she lives with a bunch of them. And so he meets her, and it's long story short, he discovers the Philosopher's Stone, but you have to eat the Philosopher's Stone in order to get its power. However, it's toxic, so it'll kill you. So he was trying to create like a serum to counteract the toxic nature of it. Turns out the serum is inside of him, specifically in his saliva. So he has to make out.
I'm giving you a look like, what?
He has to make out sloppily with this young girl so that she can consume the Philosopher's Stone. And then you see the saliva and stuff, and it's like, oh, and then you see the saliva going down her throat, like an inside shot of it going down her throat.
I don't know if I have a drop for this.
And
oh yes, my queen.
And
I don't know.
And he puts the Philosopher's Stone inside of her, and then she gets a lot of power and is like becomes like this crazy powerful fighter, but only for 3 minutes at a time. And she goes crazy in that 3 minutes and just becomes like batshit insane, and like goes around and like kills all these bad guys, and then like passes out or whatever. And so it's weird, man. This show's weird. But like this show, I mean, straight up, it's terrible. It's god awful. I'm sorry. I try to be nice and positive, but it's not compelling at all. It's, I guess some of the fight scenes are kind of cool. If you're into like cute girls and then also girls with big boobs and a lot of boob jokes.
Like how many boob jokes we talking here?
Well, there is one girl who has really big boobs and one with no boobs.
Oh.
And so as you would imagine, there's a lot of jokes there.
Can't we just have an anime where everybody has like moderate sized boobs? That's more reality, right?
Or how about just where we don't really talk about their boobs?
Well, I mean, okay.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. That's not the show.
That's impossible.
The show is just very poorly paced and very poorly written, and it was a slog just to get through those 3 episodes. Like, I'm so disinterested in this show. Like, I can't. And I mean, I feel like I'm not alone. Like, just looking at my anime list, it's got like a 6.1, which might as well be a 0. Because all the scores on my anime list run between 6 and 8.
If you're below a 7, you're in bad shape.
Yeah, so it's like this show is just I don't even know who I would recommend this to. I truly don't. If you just like cute girls, there's plenty in the show, and I'm sure there will be more because like the cover art has a couple of, or at least one other girl, actually 2, I think, that I haven't seen so far in the show. So I guess if you want to see cute girls.
Oh, is this a harem?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Real talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Have we ever liked an anime that was filled with like historical figures? Because these anime, they're all over the place. There's tons of these. Like this one's got 2 of them in the title.
A show with historical figures.
Yeah, there was the one where like the historical figures were guns.
Yeah. Noragami Arigoto.
No.
Well, those are gods.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not Noragami. I'm mixing it up. Shoot, what was the one with? Why did I think Noragami? The one with the dude that went back in time, and he became.
Oh, shoot.
Nobunaga.
Concerto.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
that was good.
Main guy's brother does the ending song.
That anime was fun.
All right, do you want your fail drop?
Yeah, I'm feeling the crap out of this show. It's garbage.
Live happily ever after.
Of course, Elizabeth.
What a pile of shit.
So I just rewatched that scene from Goblin Slayer.
Oh, did you?
It's a little rougher than I thought.
Is it?
I remembered. They basically pull her clothing off, and they don't really show it, but they kind of do show it.
Okay. So
yeah, they show. If I remember, I watched the first episode. I remember them showing like close-up face, like while she's crying and rocking back and forth.
That's pretty much what happens.
That's just so unnecessary.
Yeah, it is.
But I have an unhealthy obsession with Token Dambu, so.
There's another show.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Yeah, there is another show with goblins that we will be talking about on a later episode.
And I actually bought the first manga because Amazon pressured me into it.
Amazon, they pressured you? Man,
look, forever it has been saying, hey, you want to buy The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime? You really want this? I was like, I don't know. Amazon.
Yeah.
And then I needed a free book to add on to my purchase. I was like, all right, let me try it.
I will say, without saying whether I liked it or not, I can't wait to give my impressions on that show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Here comes your mailbag drop.
All right.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, of course, you can always leave us a mailbag. Head over to AAAPodcast.com. click on the mailbag button at the very top of the screen and drop us a line, just like Kyojin13 did. Mitz, do you want to read that one?
Sure. Here she writes, "Hello, AAA. All hail the Church." Oh.
That's why I asked you to read it. All hail the Church of Mitsuki.
All hail the Church of Mitsuki, he says. Would you rather watch an anime you end up really liking that ends on a cliffhanger and never gets finished, or watch an anime that you think you're going to dislike and end up being pleasantly surprised?
I would say the latter. Because it's so frustrating when there's a show that you really like and it just abruptly ends. Kind of like we talked about Space Brothers earlier. There's a number of shows that are like, man, this show's really good. And then just like, no, that's it. Go read the manga. I'm like, I can't read.
I mean, I end up always going to the manga anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know. But I do really hate that. I hate cliffhangers.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
Space Brothers was actually my exact example.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
I
fine.
didn't read.
That's good. An example of a show that I thought I wouldn't like that I ended up really liking a lot was Grimgar Fantasy and Ash. I thought that show was pretty good. And I definitely agree. I think the latter of these is better. I'd rather be happy with the show that I didn't think I would enjoy than be just disappointed by something. You know, one is clearly negative, one is clearly positive. I'll take the positive every time. So, yeah, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised. I think we all agreed.
Yeah, I'm wondering, can we think of any shows that have pleasantly surprised us?
Grimgar Fantasy.
Right.
Fantasy
I mean,
Ash.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't think I expected as much from Ping Pong the animation as I got.
There is a show that I will be doing an impression on that pleasantly surprised me.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Interesting. Okay. Man, do you want to read the next one?
Sure. All right. So the next one is from QA. Excuse me. Here she writes, not a question here, but I'm currently in middle of listening to 429. The hot take one, and I just had to back up Mandy here. Samurai Champloo is way better than Bebop. Bebop is pretty good, but Champloo has better characters, action, plot, writing, and probably even setting. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but hopefully months down the line, this can be a nice surprise for her. Okay, back to the episode now. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you.
Ooh,
thank you so much.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't necessarily disagree.
It's a good thing it didn't say, I wonder if Kazuo agrees. I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit. Well, that's kind of the point of the podcast, is to state our opinions, but okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Samurai Champloo, and of
Me
course
too.
I also love Cowboy Bebop. So it's like, I don't know which one I would say is better. I feel like, that is really
I think because
tough.
of the setting, I enjoyed Samurai Champloo a lot more.
I mean, they're very different in a lot of ways, you know? Like, Cowboy Bebop, I feel, is a much more noir, kind of heavy, slower. Samurai Champloo is just way more action. And I mean, it's the music. I mean,
I had a lot of fun with that.
Hip-hop versus jazz. You know, jazz is obviously a lot slower and more emotional, and hip-hop is a lot more in your face. And so, but
I'm
I love
definitely
both.
not saying that Samurai Champloo is bad. I mean, that Cowboy Bebop's bad at all.
Right.
I don't know. I think Samurai Champloo is just more for me.
I definitely feel like Samurai Champloo is underrated.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it lives in the shadow of Cowboy Bebop.
That sounds true.
For sure.
That feels right.
Yeah. Because there are some scenes in Samurai Champloo that are just freaking incredible, dude. Like the drowning scene where that song plays.
Where he's
my God.
about to go to the afterlife.
Yeah. Like there are some scenes in that show that are just absolutely
the trip
amazing.
episode.
Oh, yeah. That your boy directed?
Yeah. Miss Yuasa.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. Well, last mailbag comes from Yotaru Vegeta. Says, good podcast to you, AAA. Have you ever run into any thirst traps in your years as anime addicts? I don't know what that is. Was there any time where you were dying for a particular type of anime to come along and it suddenly appeared before you? If so, was that anime actually good, or was it only good in the moment? Oh, that's interesting. I'd never heard that term before.
There was a time when I was living in Japan where I was really wanting some sports anime. And there was a season that came out, and there were 4 sports anime all at once. And they were all, and I particularly wanted off the beaten path sort of sports. And there was the season that we got, we got Yomushi Pedal was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ping Pong the animation was one of them. We had Baby Steps, the tennis anime was one of them. And Abadenbo Kishi, the sumo anime was one of them. And no one liked Abadenbo Kishi, but most people almost everybody liked Ping Pong. A pretty good amount of people liked Baby Steps, and most people liked Yomishi Pedal, especially in the beginning.
There was another sumo wrestling one?
Yeah, it was just bad, so no one ever talked about it.
What was it called?
I think it was called Abadenbo Kishi.
Oh, okay.
And all 4 of these shows came out all at once, and it was just like, Merry Christmas, here are all these not baseball sports anime, because at that point, to me, it felt like most anime sports were they were either baseball, soccer, and that was about it. I would say even basketball was kind of uncommon at that point. And then after that, there were a few more basketball anime, but yeah, that was a good moment for me, I think.
I don't know if I've ever been craving a particular type of show, but there have certainly been shows that have come along that, unexpectedly, and that I've just completely fallen in love with. I think about One Punch Man, when that came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is something I've been wanting, and I didn't even know I wanted. Just that whole parody on this overpowered superhero and stuff. So that certainly Haikyuu was something that I hadn't watched until much after it had been out and people were talking about it. And then I watched it and I was like, how have I not seen this show? It's so amazing. And totally fell in love with that. So, but I don't know if there's anything that I've been oh, I hope they make something like this. Cause I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I really wanted an archery anime and now we got it.
Yeah. That
I
was
don't know if it's good or not yet. There's only 2 episodes out so far.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. I think when we were doing our Olympics episode or something like that, we were talking about the different Olympic games that we would like to see anime.
And boom, there it is.
There it is. Boom. All right. Well, those are all of our mailbags for today.
That's right.
So we're going to go ahead and bring it home. Again, thank you guys so much for listening and joining us. Thanks for those that joined us live. We appreciate you hanging out. You can always find us on our website, AAAPodcast.com, which is now better than ever and will continue to be improving.
It's still in progress, but it's going to be improving. We took the review section out, and it will be replaced by a review section that is maintained by IcyRose, and it's going to make the site is way lighter than it ever has been.
Lord IcyRose.
Yes. And then we'll ice baby.
Oh my gosh.
We need to drop.
Lord ice baby.
That's right.
All right. So yeah, you can go to aapodcast.com/join to sign up, set up an account so you can get access to all of our extra episodes. iTunes. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. Help us maintain our #1 spot.
I keep forgetting to say this. We're on Spotify now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Which apparently we weren't on.
Nope. Because Spotify does not aggregate like everybody else on the planet. You must submit specifically to iTunes, to Spotify.
Oh, okay. Well, we should be on pretty much every podcast service out there. If there's one that we're not on, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
We're definitely on Spotify now.
Also, come join Manga Club. We are reading number 6 right now, and we will be talking about it Wednesday, November 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the Discord.
Nice.
If you're not in Manga Club, what are you doing with your life?
I mean, the same thing I'm doing.
Yep.
Not being
not reading. That's
not reading.
Sure. Okay, Cosmo. Someday we'll teach you.
One day I'll learn how to read. Of course, you can get access to that Discord from the website at the very top. So head over to aapodcast.com, click on that Discord button, join us, join Mandy and all those other nerds that like to read. Losers.
Can we have a segment learning to read with Cosmo? Please.
That would be awesome. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/AAPodcast. Thank you guys again so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Love you. I'll snuggle you. You want to snuggle?
No, absolutely not.
Maybe next time.
I'm gonna dive out that window.